Hello everybody and welcome to tonight's show. This time I have something I hope quite special for you. Hopefully tonight we will make our first trip to Minmus, and this one is going to be special because we will make the entire trip from cockpit. Almost entirely. I'm not sure that we'll be able to do absolutely everything, but hopefully most of the trip will be done from cockpits, which is something quite special. So with that out of the way, let's continue. We stop here on our lovely sunrise, and obviously we have to build the rocket first, which is something that I do on streams. Which is a question for you guys. Do you want me to build the rockets in advance, or do you like seeing them built on streams? I can kind of do both. The reason why I'm doing them like I'm building them right now is mostly because I don't really have time to plan too much. I might sometimes plan it a little bit. This rocket, for example, I've built in advance already because I've shown it on the thumbnail. That's why. And also I really wanted to test this one out just to kind of make sure that everything goes smoothly, but I'll still build it on the stream, talking through the process, like why am I doing it the way it is done. Okay, hello there, Huriapsis. Okay, right, let's start. So usually we start with the Mark 1 command pod. Not today. The reason why we're not going to be using it today is primarily because, guess what? It doesn't satisfy our requirements for stress. Here's the thing, I'm playing with Kerbalism, and Kerbals there have like a stress factor, and if the stress reaches 100%, they go insane, they start turning engines randomly on, which is not very great. And here's the thing, the trip to Minmus, you can do it in 9 days, that's definitely possible, but you have to use quite a bit more fuel. I mean, I just don't want to bother with it too much, so we will be using a bigger command pod, and as you can see, this one will be a lot better in terms of stress, because A, it is pressurized, and B, there's a companion, because imagine sitting in a spacesuit for several days without having anyone to talk to, and having this immense stress. I mean, that'll drive anybody insane. Alright, so on the top we'll have our Providine Staputnik. The reason why I'm gonna put it there is just for the telemetry report. We're gonna do some science, increase the science capacity on this thing, add all of the shielding that we possibly can, make the ugly design, because that's a thing. I also just realized that the menu where I was showing stress is not seen because of the camera preview. Oh well. Well, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so let's think through a few more things. We obviously need some food and water, but water is something that we will actually produce in flight, so we'll just pack food for now. Okay, what else? We definitely need some parachutes here, which is for the landing state, and I think I'll add troke chutes this time. Not that we really need them, but it's just nice to have. And also, while we are here, let's add a few cameras. I do want to have at least one of them right here, pointed kind of like this-ish. Yeah, I think that's good enough. And also let's put one on the side facing the opposite direction so we can see how we're flying. Something like this, so we can kind of see the landing site as we descend. Just put it a little bit maybe like this. Yeah, that looks, okay, that looks pretty good. Alright, that's it for cameras, that's it for our descent station. Oh wait, let's also add a heat shield. Not that we really need it, but it's nice to have. And that'll be our descent stage. Now let's bring the rest of the rockets. And this one's gonna be a pretty weird design. Kate, I don't know how to pronounce that. Anyway, you can find all the mods in the description. There's like a link to the GitHub repo, which contains all of them. Alright, so let's build the main parts. The main part is just gonna be a bunch of fuel tanks, and here's the problem. I don't have really parts for big engines right now. I could use something like a Bobcat, but unfortunately, that engine doesn't have a lot of ignitions. For these reasons, I'll actually put 4 of these fuel tanks around our vehicle, and then we'll use these Terrier engines here. I'm just gonna put right there. The reason why I'm gonna be using Terriers is because they have a lot of ignitions, which is really, really important, because if some of our engines fails, I really don't want to get stuck in orbit. And another reason for using specifically 4 engines is because if one engine fails, I can shut down the symmetric engine for it, and that should really help us to improve the survivability rate for this spacecraft. Because if you watched this previous stream, and I hope you didn't, because it was an absolute nightmare, absolutely everything went wrong, and I'm really not in the mood for that to repeat itself. So for that reason, we'll just add these spherical tanks on the top to just kind of make the shape slightly more aerodynamic. Yes, engine failures are on, so that's definitely gonna be a problem. One more thing, for the descent stage, I'm also thinking about adding 2 of these monoprop tanks and also an RCS thruster blocks. Do we really need them? The answer is no, we don't need them, but they're nice to have to make just these tiny maneuvers, especially when we're going to be adjusting our orbit, and they're also nice to have just as a really backup for a backup type of engine, because they can still push it somewhat, because these are large fuel tanks. Alright, so now let's think science. So for science, we're obviously gonna need our thermometer, which is like base package. We obviously need the Geiger counter. Let's make sure they're both are running by default. And as for our experiments, this is the first time we're gonna be using the Radial Science Junior. We're gonna pack 2 of these bad boys. The reason why we're going to be packing 2 of them is because we want to do 1 in high orbit, 1 in low orbit. So that should be, that should just give us extra science. And I'll also have 2 mystery goo containment units right on the sides. Okay, so that's it for science. Now let's think about electricity. So electricity, we obviously need fuel cells. I'm going to put 2 fuel cells. Not like we need to, because we don't really care about malfunctions, because the malfunctions of fuel cells are extremely rare, but let's just put them there just in case for extra survivability, and also just to make sure that our mass is symmetrical. I think 2 should be perfectly fine. Now we'll obviously need fuel for those fuel cells, and for that I'm just gonna add in a bunch of these fuel tanks. Well, they're not fuel tanks, they're hydrogen and oxygen tanks. I'm just gonna pack a lot of them. The reason why I'm packing so many is because A, I want to have that extra capability in terms of producing the electricity, because it's just nice to have for our experiments, because they do eat quite a lot of electricity. And also, the reason why I'm adding so many is because the journey itself will take several days, and we need to pack enough oxygen, enough hydrogen to be able to perform that journey. Alright, so that's pretty much our electricity covered. Oh wait, I think I accidentally put these ones in 4 times configuration. Yeah, that's not very good. Can you please not do that anymore? Thank you very much. Okay, gonna have to put these in ×2. That's slightly annoying. Okay, with that out of the way, we now should have about what's that, 30 days worth of hydrogen and also 30 days worth of oxygen. So we will plan the max duration of the mission to about 30 days, which is good enough for this scenario. Water will be produced by the fuel cells as they burn hydrogen and oxygen. And food is in this small container right here. Okay, so that's resources covered. Now I'm not gonna add communication because we don't really need it. In terms of the stress factor, I mean, we have like, it says 400 days worth of stress we can perform, which is definitely more than we need. And I think that is it. Let's see if I have forgotten about something. No, food covered, oxygen, electricity covered. Yeah, I think that's kind of it. Radiation check, and yeah, we're good. Oh, by the way, cockpit, we're gonna have two designs. Not really sure which one to use. I guess the IVA is the one that I'm gonna prefer for now. And let's build the lower stage. So for the lower stage, we are going to go with just a huge booster design. Just gonna add in a lot of these tanks, and I mean a lot of them. And normally we don't have proper engines research, but for this specific scenario, we can use the Bobcat, which is the experimental engine that we have from a contract, which is going to come in extremely handily for this specific mission. However, even though the Bobcat is a decent engine, I mean, it has very good ISP both in atmosphere and in space, it doesn't have the most amount of thrust. So we'll actually do this funny trick where we're gonna enable crossfeed for this decoupler, and we'll actually start these upper engines before we detach the lower stage. So we're gonna use the fuel from the lower stage to not only power the Bobcat, but also these Terrier engines up there, which will allow us to perform, to just have higher thrust to weight ratio and also better efficiency, technically. And because this is obviously not something that'll fly by default, we also will need to put just a bunch of boosters. I'm gonna put 6 of them. Again, we don't really have high-level technology boosters for now, so we're just gonna add just a lot of them. Just kind of brute force it. Remember to add these aerodynamic nose cones, and I'll also add these small fins here. These are just something that I want to have to add a little bit more stability to the boosters as they detach, just so they will have slightly less of a temptation to ram our vehicle when they detach. Okay, let's also put them slightly lower, just to make sure. And also, let's auto-strut the hell out of this vehicle. Also, remember to put the engine quality on boosters to high, because there's a decent chance they fail, and that actually happened on the previous stream where the entire rocket just kind of toppled over. There is a way to defend from that, but because we're adding, like, a lot of these, there's a decent chance that some of them will fail. But the way you protect from that is you add these launch stability enhancers, and you rig the vehicle in a way that you, first of all, you start all of the engines, and only then, once you have ensured that everything's running perfectly fine, only then do you release the launch stability enhancers. So that should prevent any and all problems with engine starts, but because I still want this to go fine from the very start, I will still put high engine quality. And with that out of the way, let's auto-strut the shit out of it. And I mean, I will use auto-struts. The reason for that is because I just can't be bothered with normal struts, because I know how to use auto-struts. And by the way, there's going to be a new video about auto-struts, how they work, how to use them. What auto-struts are basically invisible struts. By the way, they don't add mass, which is one of the reasons why they're kind of considered cheats, at least to some degree. But at the same time, they're not actually stronger than normal struts. They can still technically break. So that's the thing. And with that out of the way, I think we're... Oh, wait. I also want to add Damn it. I also want to add a few of these small stabilizers to the core of the rocket, just for that little bit of extra stability. And with that out of the way, I think it's kind of it. I think, yeah, we've got everything covered. Let me just cycle through the parts to make sure that we got everything. Yeah, I think we do. Not gonna bother with landing legs for now. Not gonna bother with antennas. Science is covered. And EVA experiments kit, not gonna take that for now because actually, you know what? Let's take it. We don't have the astronaut complex upgraded just yet, but we might do it in flight, so why not add it? Oh, by the way, I really want to take the scientist with me because I want to perform science faster. That's definitely something to keep in mind, because we can't go into orbit around Minmus because we'll limit ourselves from another contract for that. So for that reason, I really want to perform science in low space as quickly as possible to just get the most of it. And probably will still not be able to complete most of it, but it's very important to do so. And with that out of the way, I think this vehicle is pretty much good to go. Love that unique design. Boy, you have not seen my rotating vehicle designs. Those are crazy. Subscribe for more. Okay, I think we're good to go. Yeah, let's go launch it. By the way, we have to name it, and the way I name my vehicles is they have an index number and a name to them, so you can suggest a name if you want to. But I really like naming things Clippers. Minmus Clipper. I mean, if you suggest a name, I'll put it there. The reason why I'm putting Clipper is because we're just gonna fly past it. We're not actually gonna go into orbit, which is why I really like this name in commemoration of Europa Clipper. If you don't know what that mission is, go ahead, look it up. It's an absolutely incredible mission that is in progress right now. How long have I been playing this game? It has been quite a few years. I have not been playing it a lot when I just started. I mean, I kind of had like a very gradual start. I just kind of fumbled around because I was a child. But recently, yeah, I started playing it a lot more, and I realized that what the hell, let's start a YouTube channel about that. Okay, let's go launch it. Damn, 8 viewers. This is incredible. This is really good. Good stuff. Okay, let's go for it. Into the sunrise we go. Okay, wait for it. Loading magic. Alright, so like I said, we're gonna start the engines, and then we'll pop the stability enhancers once we are sure that everything's working. But before that, we have to set the cockpits up. Now, I do unfortunately have this like weird bug. When I rotate the head around, it sometimes jumps back. I don't know why it does that, so just sorry if it annoys you. No idea why that happens. Okay, so first of all, we definitely need attitude control. We definitely want to display our current orbit like this, which is very nice visual indication. For the other seats, I think I'll just display resources. Why not? Maybe we can pop some cameras going on. You know what? Let's add cameras. So this is gonna be our upper camera. Let's select the other camera, which is gonna be like this one. Yeah, that's good enough. Okay. Let's start preparing for launch. So first of all, internal lights on, SAS on, RCS off. For now, we don't really need it. Gonna set it to prograde as soon as we start rolling. Oh, by the way, gotta turn on all of these caution and warning systems. This one on. Everything's checked. Great. I think we're good to launch. All right. Yeah, I think we're pretty much ready to rock and roll. Set the mission timer to on. That cockpit mod is really clean. Yeah, it's absolutely incredible. I do have a video about these cockpit mods, which is like the most popular video on this channel by miles. So if you haven't watched it for some reason, go ahead. It's actually the one video I really am confident recommending. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's launch it. I will be switching to outer view for some moments, primarily because I just want to show you some camera tools that I have prepared, primarily because it's just better to have some external visuals just for the fun of it. It's not an eve sunset, it's just a normal sunset. It's actually a sunrise, technically. Okay, so let's start the engines. As you can see, all of them started perfectly fine, and off we go. Gonna instantly go into a bit of a rotation here. Get us to SAS progrades, and off we go. There is quite a lot of shaking inside, especially during launch, because we do have quite significant thrust to weight ratio, and that is a little bit annoying. So for the launch itself, I will be mostly showing from the outside, just for the better visuals. And sunrise. Off we go. Gonna be quite an aggressive launch. Gonna go pretty aggressively up. We do have a very good thrust to weight ratio, but that's only when the boosters are on. As soon as the boosters are off, we will suddenly see a huge drop in terms of our thrust to weight ratio. It is now less than 1, which is not ideal, and for that reason we'll start these engines, and I have to keep a close call on the fuel tanks, which are these lower fuel tanks, because I don't want to start using these upper fuel tanks, so I'll have to stage it very appropriately. I said that because it's very green sky. Why does it shouldn't be that green? I don't know. Maybe. No, there's no bugs on stream. Not sure. Okay. With that out of the way, we'll just continue burning. For now, I will be still using the Bobcat engine, but at some point I'll turn it off, because even though it is reasonably efficient, these Terror engines are more efficient, even more so. So there will be an advantage to just shutting off the main engine as soon as we are barely into orbit. But for now, I do need that higher thrust to weight ratio, which is about 2 for now. And off we go. Bob and Jebediah doing pretty fine there. You can't see them on stream, unfortunately, but they are smiling, I assure you. I mean, I can show you Bob. Yeah, look at that guy. He is one happy dude. Alright, off we go. I think we're about to reach the point where we can shut this engine down. And actually, you know what? We already have to detach the fuel tank. So we'll detach the lower stage, and off we go. Okay, we did take quite a low ascent profile, which in this case is fine, because we don't really have a lot of drag on this vehicle, but that's definitely something that you have to adjust. If your vehicle has a lot of drag, you wanna, well, if your vehicle has like infinite drag, or it's just really draggy, you kind of want to go up and then to the sides. If your vehicle has pretty much zero drag, you almost always want to go as low as possible, pretty much as low as the terrain will allow you to. And with that out of the way, we're almost in orbit right here. Do want to create a maneuver to circularize our orbit here. Can't really, I don't know how to do that properly from cockpits, but we'll perform the maneuver itself from cockpits. I think that's good enough. By the way, yeah, we have to start burning pretty soon here. Switch to stability assist, and I will put us more horizontally. Not quite to maneuver node, but just a bit more horizontally. And the burn time is shown down here. You can see it in blue here. It's 2 minutes, and node is in 1 minute, so we'll start burning pretty soon here. By the way, let's lock staging, which is a really nice button, which will prevent staging, which is very, very nice. And off we go with our engines. Unfortunately, there will be still some vibration, because we still have a decent thrust to weight ratio, but hopefully that's not too annoying. Okay, on we go. Let's show a little bit of camera preview. Yeah, we can see the engines running in the background. Alright, yeah, we can see the G-load meter up there. Just trying to show off the cockpit. Let's switch to prograde at this point. And I think we have circularized. No, we haven't. We're almost circularized. Okay, you know what? Let's clear the maneuver node, and I think we'll just go to apoapsis, and then we will circularize there. Or we can actually, you know what we can do? We can actually just kind of point downgrade, because we're in the middle between prograde, in the middle of periapsis and apoapsis, so we can just burn like this, which will lower our apoapsis, rise our periapsis, and this will just make it slightly easier to circularize like this. Still gotta do some progrades. I just want to keep us in a low enough orbit that we don't stumble into the radiation clouds, which is definitely not something that you want to do. Because again, I can show them right here, there are radiation clouds near Kerbin, which are deadly swarms of radiation. Definitely do not want to go in there. Alright, and I think that's kind of it in terms of getting to orbit. Let's make a quick save here, just in case something goes really wrong. And let's to Minmus. So the way we're gonna go to Minmus is, can we do it from cockpit entirely? I'm not entirely sure. How can we set... Oh, we have this thing. Okay, great. So we can just set Minmus. It'll create the maneuver node, and you can see it on the map right here. It has automatically created a maneuver node for us, and all we have to do right now is just perform the maneuver. We can actually do this completely automatically with MechChap. That's something that we can do. Although, I'm not gonna abuse MechChap too much for now, because we technically don't have some of the functionality that is still available to us through cockpits. Let's perform it manually. So we'll switch to progrades, and we can just time warp towards our maneuver node, which we this time have created from cockpits. And yeah, let's go ahead. I will be burning sometimes from map view, sometimes from inner view. It doesn't really matter. I mean, I can do the entire mission completely from cockpit, but there's just not much reason to do so. It's just kind of easier. Okay, you know what? We can time warp a little bit just to perform this maneuver slightly faster. And as soon as we see start burn in 0, we'll pop the engines, and on we go. Let's do this maneuver. I'm not going to be time warping for now, because I don't really want to overshoot. Or primarily, I just don't want the vehicle to wobble too hard. Because my laptop is suffering right now, quite severely so. It's kind of hard for it to both run the stream, 2 streams actually. I do have a vertical stream. By the way, if you guys are in vertical stream, is there chat there? Yes, there is chat. You can go into the horizontal stream, which is definitely better. Go ahead and do that if you're in vertical stream. There's a proper horizontal one. The reason why I do vertical stream is because it just attracts more viewers to the channel. And as you can see, unfortunately our vehicle is wobbling like crazy. I don't know why this happens. This is just sort of a bug in terms of the SAS. Just a little annoying. Alright, let's reduce our thrust here just a little bit, because I want to perform that last part of the maneuver as accurately as possible. And yep, that's kind of it. Okay, now I'm just gonna delete all the maneuver nodes, and I will go ahead and add a new maneuver node, which we will use to just correct our course slightly. Like I said, our goal is to get some science from Minmus, and we can do science both from high altitude and low altitude in space. So I'm just gonna select this maneuver node, and I'll try to correct it slightly, just so that we will fly past, very, as close as possible to the surface, pretty much. Okay, like this, just correct it slightly. I'm gonna have to do a bit more of this one. I mean, the placement of the maneuver node is probably not the most ideal, but it's good enough for what I'm trying to do. Alright, and let's just bring our periapsis to about... yeah, that looks 20,000 meters, 3,000 meters. That's a bit lower than I'd like. But you know what? Doesn't really matter too much. We can do a slight corrective burn once we get into Minmus sphere of influence. Okay, so now let's just go ahead and perform the actual maneuver. Let's time warp towards it. Unfortunately, we do not have SAS to lock onto the maneuver node, so we'll just have to kind of eyeball it with the stability assist, which is like the stock one. By the way, this maneuver node, it doesn't really matter how quickly we perform it, but we do want a lot of accuracy. For this reason, I will actually go into cockpits and use a very cool feature that we can do here, which is the thrust limit. I'll set the thrust limit to about 50% for now, but when I will be close to completing the maneuver, I'll actually start reducing it. So with that out of the way, let's make the primary burn just reduce the delta V for our maneuver to something really, really low. And once we're close, we'll actually reduce our thrust limit to pretty much only 5%, which will just allow me to make the maneuver as accurately as I can. I'm just gonna make a quick external view for you there. Okay, let's finish it, and I mean, that looks pretty good. Just a little more, and yep, good enough. Probably we didn't execute it perfectly, but I think it's still gonna be fine. Yeah, that looks good enough. We'll make tiny corrections when we get into Minmus sphere of influence. That's okay. And with that out of the way, I think we can start time warping here. There isn't really much else we have to do, so let's just go ahead and time warp. We'll pause the radiation fields. I did put all of the radiation shielding that I could, but we still will pick up some radiation. But that's fine. We'll research radiation detoxification units at some point, so we'll be able to heal the Kerbals at some point in the future. Subscribe. Okay, for now we can kind of relax. Just wait for the time warp to finish. That'll take some time. Alright, we have almost completed. It'll auto slow down time, which is definitely a very cool feature. And as soon as we will complete the maneuver node, we'll have to start performing our science. And I also will try to put our periapsis slightly lower. Not that we really need to, but I just want to put it pretty much as low as I can, so that we'll have more time to collect science as we go past Minmus. So with that out of the way, we'll make the short burn here. We still have thrust limit, so the burn will perform very slowly. Actually, you know what? Let's increase it slightly here. And yeah, just finish it. We do have plenty of delta V. Definitely don't need so much. We'll just reduce it to about 5 kilometers, which is, I think, good enough. There's not a lot of mountains right here. I'm actually glad we're not going near the equator, because the equator does have quite a few mountains in Minmus. And yeah, okay, let's start performing science. Now, unfortunately, the cockpit modes here, they do have like this thing called run all science, which is definitely a really cool thing. Unfortunately, it is not compatible with Kerbalism, so we will have to do that from the external view. I'm sorry. Alright, let's start our material study on the Science Junior. Let's start our containment unit right here. Don't forget to remind me to transfer all of the science to Mark command pod. Otherwise, we're just gonna lose it, because again, the science here that we're doing are samples, and we have to transfer them, and we have to return them back to Kerbin. Oh, Jesus. Oops. Oopsie daisy. I have accidentally fired the engines there for a little bit. Don't think it did much, but that's a little annoying. You know what? Let's correct for it a little bit. Jesus, I put the wrong direction there. Shit happens. Alright, this is fine, this is okay. Just gonna... I want to have our periapsis at about 5,000 meters or slightly higher. And you know what? There's another cool feature that we can do from cockpits. It is just disabling the engine altogether, which is definitely nice. I mean, you can do that from non-cockpits, but you just kind of have to go and put every single engine to turn it off. In cockpits, you can do all at the same time. And for that, there's really not much we have to do. We'll just time warp. But before, well, we have finished our observations for these blocks right here. So we'll stop them for now, and we'll actually go ahead and open the other ones and just start them. The reason why I have to is because the material study that we're doing here and the mystery go observation, in Kerbalism, these are not, they're not like normal science, which you can do basically as long as you want. These are samples, and when you study these samples, you deplete them. So actually, we can see right here, if we open up the info menu, we can see that we don't have any samples left, because, well, there's just enough samples to perform one observation, which is exactly why I put 2 Science Juniors there and there. As you can see, the other one is full with 32 kilograms of science equipment. And by the way, let's transfer all of these samples to command pods. We'll have to do that again, but for now, just at least not forget all of it. Okay. Why do it simple when you can do it cool? Yeah, that's definitely the motto here. Alright, let's time warp a little bit as we approach Minmus. We can do some cool visuals from cockpit. And we actually... Yeah, you know what? Let's do some cool visuals here. There we go. That's a flyby. Really cool. Love the mods for camera, which is definitely something that I use a lot when I'm trying to make my movies. And because we don't have to do much here, we can just open both cameras here and get some cool visuals. There we go, look at that. We can actually tilt the cameras to an extent. Yeah, that's the view. We can actually zoom the cameras as well. Unfortunately, the zoom is not very fast. I personally like it to be slightly more aggressive, but it's definitely something that you can do. Alright, well, I hope everybody did their screenshots thing. There you go. That's another one if you want to take screenshots or something. Alright, and as you can see, once we get into low orbit, the material study and the mystery go observations will start running once again. Just want to make sure that all of our experiments are running. This is running, this is running. Okay, great, everything seems to be working perfectly here. And, I mean, there's not much we have to do right here. We'll just time warp through it. Although I do want to be careful just to note that we're not going to collide with it. Just make sure. Gonna be careful with the time warp here. I'm pretty sure we're not gonna touch it, but still. Can't be too careful. And with that, we will continue. Unfortunately, we won't be able to do all of our observations. There will be still some left, but we'll perform some observations in high altitude. I mean, in deep space of Kerbin, we still haven't researched all of it, so we can do that there. And with that out of the way, yeah, let's time warp out of Minmus sphere of influence, and that's kind of it. By the way, we're already at 9 days, so if this was a simple mission, then we would have had, well, if we used the small cockpit, we would have had real stress issues right here. Okay, let's turn around here. Let's transfer all of the data here, finish our scientific observations for the Mystery Goo and the Science Junior. Unfortunately, they will be depleted before they can finish, but that's just the sad reality. We'll finish them someday later. And with that out of the way, I think we can just fire the engines here. I'm gonna go back into cockpit, turn it on, set thrust limit to all of it, and let's just bring our periapsis to low orbit. Okay, just gonna slightly reduce here, and okay, looking good. Periapsis is, you can view the periapsis here is like displayed, which is what I'm looking at. You can use the visuals, but the visuals are not very precise, so we'll be using the exact value here. Reduce the thrust a little bit for that extra precision. And let's go ahead, just finish it, bring our periapsis to something like 30-ish kilometers. Yeah, that's good enough. And that is kind of it. We'll just time warp the rest. Obviously, we do have tons of Delta V, and we can do some silly stuff. We can, for example, make another flyby of Mon, or something like that, but there's really no need to do this, so we'll just time warp all of it. And like I said, we do have extra Delta V, but that was there just in case the engines fail or something goes really wrong. It's not really something that I plan to use in advance, so we're not gonna bother too much about it. And on we go. Gotta be careful with the time warp here. Let's go to this view. Really cool. Damn, I love visual mods for KSP. They're hard in terms of computationally, but damn, they're making me hard. Alright, funny jokes. Hope someone will clip those one day. Alright, you know what? We do have a bunch of Delta V left, so again, just remember to transfer all of the data just in case. And I mean, we can just kind of start the engines here, just so that we will shed our velocity slightly. Let's increase our thrust limit to max here. And we'll just burn all of the fuel here. We don't really have to worry about anything. So let's just burn it off for that extra careful descent. And as soon as we burn them off, we'll just detach the lower stage. Yeah, there we go. Detach it. Why can't I? Oh, I love the staging, damn it. Unlock staging, stage it, turn on the parachutes. By the way, our master alarm is screaming right now. Let's turn that off, because we are descending and it's really not happy about that. And on we go. Just gonna time warp here to descend. Not gonna comment too much on this. It's like very simple stuff. In fact, we didn't use the RCS because I forgot about it. We could have used it to correct our Minmus trajectory, which is definitely something that would have been nice to do instead of trying to limit the engine power, but it is what it is. Unfortunately, we did take a rather aggressive descent profile, so the G-loads here will be quite high, but it doesn't really matter too much. Hopefully Bob will not pass out, and he passed out. Yeah. You can't see this, but oh no, you can. In the upper corner right there. Alright, let's time warp here. I will reduce the deployment altitude for the parachutes because there's no real reason to deploy them so high up, because we have lots of them, and I'll kind of stage them a little bit so they will deploy one after the other for that slow deceleration. Actually, you know what, let's save the game here, because when you're time warping with parachutes on, there's a decent chance that something will go wrong, and I'm not in the mood for ruining the mission at the very end of it. Alright, look at that. We have successfully finished and gonna land here. Easy landing, and that's it. We have completed our first mission to Minmus. By the way, we can still view the cockpits here, slightly. We can get some visuals there. Alright, you know what? We can still perform some science down low once we have landed, because we haven't been in Kerbin Surface Badlands. Oh, damn it, we're in Badlands. Wow, didn't know that. Well, I mean, since we're here, might as well go on EVA, get some of that cool stuff, like the surface sample. Oh, we can't do surface samples right now, because we haven't upgraded the astronaut complex yet. Damn it, I forgot. I wanted to upgrade that before I returned the mission, but, you know. Yeah. To the comment in the comment section, the answer is yes. It is definitely the worst thing known to man. Usually I'm against reverting back, but in that case I was just, I couldn't be bothered. I'm sorry. That was just a bad stream altogether. Okay, so we have finished our observations. Not really necessary, but it will give us like 1 extra science point. Actually, I think it's like 1.8 for EVA, and then another half a point for the crew report. Nah, why not get it? Alright. And hopefully we have got tons of science at this point. So, yeah, we have got 124 science points, which is a lot. You can see all of the observations that we did. There's definitely a lot of them. You can see we did some telemetry reports there, flying high, flying low. It's definitely welcome. And most importantly, we now have a lot of money. What are we going to do with this money? We can actually take this contract to explore Minmus. Definitely yes. And we'll also upgrade the astronaut complex, because I want to go into orbit and then go on a spacewalk and do all kinds of stuff like that. Science data from surface of Minmus. It'll probably prompt us to go for a landing, so let's do that. And I think we will... I think our next mission will be a landing mission on Minmus. That sounds great. But first, let's see what science we can research. And we can research quite a lot. Well, not too much, unfortunately. But we definitely can research at least one of these nodes. So here's the thing. We could research electrics, which will give us solar panels, which is definitely a cool thing. Unfortunately, solar panels are kind of annoying to use in Kerbalism because all of the experiments require a lot of electricity. So when you use solar panels, you have to put a lot of capacitors or just battery banks. And that kind of defeats the whole point of using solar panels for this temporary mission. It's definitely cool for like satellites and everything, but because we do not have satellites for now, we don't really care too much. What we do care about is fuel systems, because we have a lot of these small tanks and they're kind of annoying to use. But even more so annoying is the fact that we're using these tiny boosters, which are even more so annoying. So I'm thinking actually about researching the heavy rocketry and fuel systems here, because, I mean, we do have 180 science points. And then we will research the space exploration, the electrics, from the science points that we get from actually landing on Minmus. And that sounds like a reasonable plan. What are your thoughts on this? Please tell me, by the way. Let me check the comments on the vertical stream. Okay, I checked them. Alright, yeah, you know what? Let's research the fuel systems, because our next vehicle will be quite a bit bigger, because we want to land. Actually, you know what? The vehicle that we had probably can land by itself on Minmus. Because the landing on Minmus is a lot easier to do than on Mun. And that's actually one of the fun parts about Kerbalism, is when you're playing the default, the stock game, it's actually easier to make a trip to Minmus and then land there than it is on Mun, because Mun requires a lot of Delta V for the landing itself. So it actually takes less Delta V to go to Minmus in terms of landing than it is for a Mun landing. Unfortunately, in Kerbalism, you can't really do that because, well, guess what? There's a penalty in terms of like the resources that you have to take for the longer trip. Alright, so I think we'll keep the upper stage here pretty much the same. Let's rename the vehicle here. I'm gonna name it Minmus 1, because it's gonna be the first attempt at landing. Hopefully it will be a successful one. Let's put some landing struts here. Gonna put them like that. Push them slightly into our vehicle. Like that. Yeah, that looks good enough. Okay, for that slightly more stability, make them gold, because why not? I mean, we can afford. And yeah, the upper stage will remain pretty much the same, with the exception that we're probably not going to be using the Terriers for our ascent. But the rest of it, I really like this design. It looks good enough. One thing that I can do is I can actually replace this Staputnik with a more advanced core. Oh, we don't have a more advanced core, I'm sorry. We haven't researched it yet, so there's that. Okay, yeah, let's leave the upper stage as is, pretty much the same. And it is the lower stage that we really have to work on. So first of all, we obviously want to use bigger fuel tanks. It's really annoying to have to work with hundreds of these smaller fuel tanks. So let's research these bigger ones. Well, I mean, we have researched, we just have to buy them. Because you have to unlock parts, which is expensive, damn it. But we have to do that. Okay, we still have the Bobcat liquid fuel engine. Now not as an experimental part, now just a normal part. But I'm actually more interested in something a bit more powerful. Maybe like the Skipper engine. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Or there's like the problem with the Skipper engine is that it only has like 1 or 2 ignitions, just like the Bobcat, which are lower stage engines. We could actually make a slightly different design altogether. We could try to use the Poodle liquid fuel engine. And it has bad speed down low, but we can accelerate with the boosters. And then we can use the Poodle once we're already in orbit. Or at least above the atmosphere. So that's definitely something that we can do. I'm not entirely sure if we should, though. Maybe we can just put the Skipper and just not worry about it. Okay, I forgot that it is slightly bigger. Damn it. Okay, you know what? Let's put the compact design like that. That looks good enough. Yeah, it's pretty big. Okay, let's put compact there. And I'll still put the high engine quality, just in case. By the way, have our crew got... oh, Jebediah got the upgrades. Unfortunately, Bob did not. Well, it is what it is. I'm actually thinking about bringing an engineer on this mission, because he will be able to repair if some of the parts are broken. So, you know what? Let's take an engineer with us for this specific mission. And also, yeah, I think that's good enough. Alright, do we want to research the kickbacks? I think we do. I think there's no reason to stop, but they're pretty big. Kind of annoying to use a little bit. I think if we put 2 of them, yeah, that'll give us just the perfect amount of delta V. Just to get almost to orbit. I don't want to quite push us to orbit with the lower stages, but just get pretty close there. Alright, let's put this slightly higher, and we'll just add 2 kickbacks. Unfortunately, we still have small decouplers, so that's something that we'll have to keep in mind. I'm just gonna put them right there and push them down low. Just like that. Yeah, that looks good enough. You know what? Let's add fins to them, just for that extra stability during detachment. And there's actually a weird trick that you can do. You can actually tilt them ever so slightly, like 5 degrees, something like that. And what this does is it forces the... If you put them like down low and you tilt them, when you detach them, it'll just push them away, which is definitely nice to have for that extra stability. Although, do be careful in which direction you put them, because if you tilt them in the wrong direction, that'll actually backfire quite severely. And also, you have to put them in groups of 2 and make sure that you tilt them in the correct direction. I think this is the correct direction. Okay, looks good enough. And you know what? Let's also put the winglets here, because we can. I think we can afford ourselves some winglets here. And obviously, we want launch stability enhancers, as with absolutely any rocket that has boosters on the side, or just multiple engines, you definitely need stability enhancers in case the boosters fail. By the way, let's make sure all of our engines are at high quality. And let's set everything else. So, like I said, we're gonna start all of the engines in the beginning. Then we're gonna detach our stability enhancers. And after that, we'll just detach these later. And the lower stage here. Alright, that looks good enough. Hello there. Alright, by the way, should we put in an antenna here? I'm starting to wonder. You know what, let's put one of these antennas here. Not because we necessarily need it, but because I just want to kind of test it a little bit. Just want to... Actually, I'm gonna put 2 of them right here, because I want to complete one of the contracts that we have, and it's just going to be easy to do with these antennas right here. Oh, antennas, I do have remote tech mod, which just changes everything about antennas. That's just something to keep in mind. Alright, and with that out of the way, I think we're complete. I think we've done everything. Yeah, the upper stage is pretty much what we've seen so far. Just remember to auto-strut everything, because that's a good idea to do in general. Alright, let's auto-strut this, and yeah, that looks good enough. Alright, I think we're good for launch. Hopefully. Okay, let's launch it. And on we go to Minmus. Damn it. It's really annoying with the not responding window. Gotta turn that off. By the way, nobody asked, but I'm running Linux. Alright, we do have something weird going on here. Not entirely sure, but the vehicle is a little tilted right here. Not sure why, but I don't want to launch it like this. You know what, let's put the stability enhancers on the core of the vehicle. I think that'll just get rid of that stability issue. Yeah, let's put them like that and just correct the staging. Okay, I think that's better. Yeah, just minor correction. By the way, if you're watching this stream and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you're enjoying. Alright, I think this is it. I think we're good for launch. Let's start the engine. Everything started nicely. We will detach the stability enhancers and on we go towards orbit. This time, I'm not sure what kind of center profile we should take. We don't seem to have very high thrust to weight ratio, so just gonna go relatively high this time, so I'm not entirely sure what to do. Damn, I love the effects on the skipper engine. Wow, that is one pretty engine. That is very, very cool. Real nice. Alright, let's turn the camera, or rather, face prograde, and on we go with the launch. Right, hopefully we'll test the detachment right here, see how it goes. Detach them, and as you can see, they flew away, at least for a little bit, which is definitely nice, definitely welcome. And right now, I'm actually gonna reduce thrust a little bit, because I wanna go slightly lower than this. We are going pretty high, and I don't like it too much. So I'm actually gonna reduce thrust here a little bit, maybe time warp a little bit, and once we're slightly lower, now I'll put the engine to max thrust. And on we go with the rest of the launch. Actually, no, I'm starting to think if we're not going too low. Damn it, I missed the sunrise. God damn it. Okay, you know what? Let's put ourselves slightly horizontally. That. Just make sure we're getting that horizontal speed for circularization. Definitely want that. Unfortunately, we will need to use the Terrier engines at least a little bit for our ascent. That's not going to be too big of an issue. We can do that. We can afford ourselves. Alright, and our skipper engine is completed. Let's detach it nicely. I will burn with the RCS a little away from it. Okay, great. Start the Terrier engines here, and let's create a maneuver node for circularization. Complete it, just like that. Okay, that looks good enough. Yep, good enough. Okay, and we will start the burn shortly here. Just a few seconds. Alright. We can take a pause here. Rest for a second. And on we go. Luckily the engine started no problem. Definitely nice to see. And on we go with the mission. This is looking pretty good. This ascent was pretty much the best so far. Very nice, very stable. The rocket was controlling really, really well. And I think soon we'll have the ascent profiles for MacJab. And boy, will I ever use them. Yes, I will. I will exploit that to the best of my abilities. Because automated launches are just so much easier. You can literally press a single button and you're in orbit. With a few tweaks, obviously, you have to check the ascent profile, you have to fiddle with that. There's definitely room for improvement, at least somewhat, but it's just easier overall. And that's it. We have successfully circularized here. Nice view. Get some stuff for the screenshots. Can definitely... Wait a second. Gotta set the target. We can get some nice views right there. Yonk! Okay, I think that was enough. Alright, you know what? Let's go to Minmus. After all, that's why we are here. Let's create the maneuver node. I will be doing that with the astrogator. Just gonna plug that in, create maneuver node. And let's correct slightly, because again, I want to pass as close to Minmus as possible. So I will just kind of correct it a little bit because I want to pass near it. And yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, let's get with our maneuver. Time warp to that window. And get ready. Okay. Let's just accelerate here. This time, actually, I really want to perform the maneuver accurately, and I've had some stability problems with the default SAS. So I'm actually going to use the MacChap Smart SAS. And I'm going to set it to prograde. This just keeps the vehicle slightly more stable. I don't know why. Unfortunately, this does allow us to do things that we can't normally do, like node maneuvers, but I'm just not going to do that. I'm just gonna set it to prograde, and obviously we can't do that by default. It's just slightly more accurate this way, for some reason. Don't know why. We'll be able to use RCS to correct our trajectory slightly later on. The engine's ignited successfully. Everything's looking good, and on we go with the mission. Actually, we'll time warp here because I want to get to Minmus faster. Don't want to waste your time, guys. Although I do hope that you're having a nice time. Hope you have a team or something. Let's finish our maneuver here. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna stop the maneuver here for now. And I think I'll just create a new maneuver node and correct our trajectory like that. Or maybe I'll just kind of eyeball it. You know what? Let's kind of eyeball it. I think we can do that. Gonna turn the engines on here for a little bit. Yeah, unfortunately, we'll have to do some maneuvers in terms of normal and anti-normal. But luckily, we do have the nodes for that right now. So we can do that. Just bring it slightly lower. And you can already see that it kind of wobbles, unfortunately. I don't know why that keeps happening. It's just annoying for no reason at all, to be honest. Okay, let's finish it right here. And now I'm just gonna point to prograde, and I'll switch to docking mode. I'll turn the RCS on, and I will use the RCS to bring the periapsis lower. Just like that. Okay, that looks good enough. Okay, that's kind of it. Let's go ahead and time warp to Minmus. On we go. This is actually going really well so far. Like, the earlier missions were so annoying because they didn't have a lot of the instruments that I kind of got used to. For example, RCS, maneuver nodes, all of these things are definitely stuff that I just kind of normally use, and when I'm suddenly not able to use them at all, that just kind of makes it harder to perform some actions which are normally not that big of a deal. Okay, let's time warp to 10,000 here. actually. You can already also see that we don't have a lot of EVAs available because, unfortunately, I forgot to bring nitrogen with me, nitrogen supplies, so we're not gonna have a lot of EVAs available for us, but 6 I think is good enough for what we're trying to do here. And in terms of our Minmus activities, I'm just gonna warp to Periapsis. At Periapsis, I will circularize into a low orbit because we have a contract to do that. And from there, I'm actually gonna go to Space Center and hopefully get some new contracts for Minmus, like a landing, hopefully. Just gonna create a new maneuver node here, just to circularize into low orbit. That looks good enough. By the way, let's start our material study and our mystery go observation, because we haven't completed all of that in low orbit, so it's definitely something that I want to do. Alright, let's time warp to the maneuver node. We'll finish some of the observations in low orbit while we are descending, while we're circularizing. It's definitely nice to have. Okay, like I said, I will use the Smart ASS because for some reason it's just annoying with the default SAS. It's kind of way too wobbly. I'll also use the cockpits here to set the thrust limit to 60%-ish, because we don't need too much thrust-to-weight ratio, definitely not for Minmus. You know what, let's turn the external cameras here. Just get a little bit of a view here going on. Alright, I think we're almost there to circularize. Let's start the engines. It's looking good. Get into low orbit, and we're still left with like 1600 meters of delta V, which is definitely more than we actually need for this mission. And there we go. We are in a low orbit. We have contractually completed our contract. Okay. And like I said, we'll go to Space Center here. Extend the landing gear later. Actually, I think there's... Oh, I'm actually gonna show you a very nice thing in cockpits. You can actually set landing legs and parachutes to auto-deploy when you get low enough. It's definitely a really cool feature. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna show you that. Alright, mission control. And we got a contract for Mon. Damn it! That's annoying. You know what? It expires in 1 day. So I'm like really tempted to just time warp because the guys on Minmus, I mean, they do have quite a lot of resources, so they can probably stick for like a day there. Yeah, you know what? Let's time warp here a little bit. Just wait till this contract expires. Hopefully we will be able to just kind of ignore it for the time being. Okay, gotta wait a few more hours. Go like that. Good enough. Damn it, 6 minutes. Okay, thank you very much. Explore Minmus. Go on an orbital spacewalk near Minmus. Return to orbit from orbit of Minmus. Yes, please. Okay. Unfortunately, it still doesn't want us to land. That's kind of annoying. Told us to go on a spacewalk and then just return. Damn it, that's annoying. I wish we could have like a small satellite attached to our primary vehicle so we can just kind of shed it away, return it to Kerbin, just not bother with that. Yeah, unfortunately we can't do that. Oh well, let's have Bill here go on an EVA. Let's get the EVA report running, and also, By the way, why can't I... Oh, I can. Okay, I just want to exchange the parachute for the EVA experiments kits and run the EVA experiment kits. Okay, yeah, let's do that. Perform EVA science. Is gonna do the thing. Yay, the thing has been successfully completed. Keep the experiments. Very nice. And let's finish our observation here in terms of EVA. By the way, while we are here, there's one more thing that we can do. We can actually go and inspect the engines, because, I mean, we do have an engineer, so we can inspect the engine. This one looks good, this one is in good shape, this one is also in good shape. Okay, everything's great. I guess we don't need to repair anything. I mean, we can service them, because we do have an engineer here. So here's the problem. Our contract here specifically says that we need to satisfy this stupid ass contract. We have to return to Kerbin, which is really annoying because, I mean, we are capable of just landing right here. So there are two ways we can go about this. Way number one, we just return this vehicle, we don't perform the landing now, and we just launch pretty much the exact same vehicle, and we can complete everything like that. That is one way. The other way that we can do is we actually launch another vehicle, get it to orbit, land it, and then perform the landing with this vehicle altogether. The problem is that we can't do probes for now, because we don't really have a network set up and all that kind of stuff. We do have quite a lot of resources here. We still have resources for like 30 days. These guys can chill for quite some time in orbit. So we definitely could launch another one. What do you think, guys? What should we do? Like I said, we have two options. Option number one is launch another vehicle. Just get it to quickly orbit Minmus and get back. Or option number two is just kind of return with this vehicle. Just not bother with it too much. What should we do? Second one. Yeah, I also think that we should kind of return this vehicle and just launch another one. The reason why I'm thinking this is going to be a good idea is because we haven't completed all of our mystery go observations or science observation in high, and actually even low Kerbin orbit, so we can just do that. Get science from that, and I mean, let's not overstay here. Yeah, you know what? Let's go home. Okay, right here I'm gonna do a pretty weird maneuver. I'm gonna turn the smart ASS off, and because Minmus has such low gravity, I can just kind of ignore all orbital mechanics and just point exactly where I want to go and just kind of go there. Like that. I can just start the engines right here. And it'll push me where I want to go. And where I want to go is outside of orbit of Minmus. I'm actually gonna burn for slightly longer just to put us into high elliptical orbit of Kerbin altogether. I'm actually gonna reduce the thrust here so that we will perform this one maneuver and already get to descent. No, it's not the world first achievement that I'm worried about. It's actually the contracts, because we don't have a lot of money. And we definitely want to perform those experiments. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a little annoying. Alright, we have already selected what we're going to do, so let's just continue with that. Yeah, the problem is that I want to perform contracts to get that money It's not really about in terms of like actually completing the world first achievements. It's the thing is, I want to take the progression mechanics as slow as possible. So normally you speed run through them, just kind of go faster and faster, but because I'm playing on hard settings, it's actually beneficial for me to just kind of take some time, not rush it, because it will allow me to have just more contracts in general. Okay, so with that out of the way, you know what we can actually do? We can actually try to go for a Mun transition. I mean, we could go to Mun orbit if we really wanted to. We do have Delta V, and we could do some experiments there. Or we could just not bother and not overthink it. You know what? Let's take the not overthink it approach. Also, just realized I wasn't seeing it live. Ah, it just happens. Alright, let's go down. You know what we can do? We can actually research. I think we'll be able to research some more stuff here. Okay, let's do a few things. First of all, we can get... I'm just trying to think what I want to do here. Definitely want to complete the material study in like low orbit. It's definitely something that I want to do. Oh, by the way, let's not forget to move science to the command pod, because that's definitely important. Definitely don't want to miss that. Yeah, as you can see, we haven't studied all of the material study in low orbit, so that's definitely something that we want to do. And even the mystery goo observation wasn't complete. So let's go ahead, do those. Yeah, I think this turns out pretty fine. Just kind of time warp here. Unfortunately, oh damn it, we haven't completed all in Stratosphere. Even Stratosphere wasn't finished technically. God damn it. Well, I'm actually glad we took this approach, because we haven't finished some of these small observations. And we'll be able to do that now, which is definitely nice. The problem is that we're kind of burning hard here, and I think the science pod will be destroyed right now. Damn it! I want to select the crew pod! And yeah, they got destroyed. I mean, we can still do mystery goo observations. There's that. You know what? Let's start the observations before we reach orbit next time. Yeah, let's do that. Unfortunately, our vehicle is kind of burning up here quite severely, which is suboptimal. So, you know what? Let's just kind of retro burn here aggressively. Unfortunately, it's going to be annihilating, I think, if we do it like this. I mean, we can actually go for a daytime landing, I think, here. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, that looks good. Oh, by the way, we can actually, you know what we can do? Because we have so much Delta V, we can actually specifically target to land near Kerbal Space Center. That's gonna be a good idea. That's definitely gonna be cool. Alright, I think we have depleted all of our mystery goo observations, so we can just kind of time warp here. And it rotated the spacecraft for no apparent reason, because there's some weird bugs which just make our life annoying for no reason at all. Thank you very much, I really appreciate it. God damn it. I mean, this is not the most efficient landing, but whatever. Note to self, do not go into low orbit, rather high stratosphere, with a lot of parts that easily overheat. We got a bunch of our landing struts destroyed entirely. I know, it is what it is. It doesn't really matter. Actually, you know what? We can, since we have committed to this weird launch, we can actually deploy the parachutes before we release the station, and then we'll kind of see. If we are capable of landing as is, then great. If we're not capable, then oh well. But what this will do is it'll allow us to recover more parts, just make the mission effectively cheaper. Okay, let's make a short burn here, just to bring us towards KSC. Yeah, like that. And I'm not gonna go all the way to KSC. I will stop slightly before, because I will, again, use the engines a little bit more here. Just kind of slow myself down. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna burn up a little bit here to just kind of shed away some speed. Just making sure that we're not gonna overheat any more parts. Because the more parts we return, the more science we will complete. Which is definitely nice. Well, not science, money, Jesus. Okay, I think this is almost good enough. Okay, I think this is good enough. Let's bring it slightly closer to KC. We can actually try to land near the island airfield. That sounds like a good idea. Okay, let's aim for that. And time warp here. We'll decelerate lightly. We're already at 1500 meters per second, so we're probably not gonna overheat anything else. I'm a little worried about these landing struts. They really are easily destroyed. By the way, our Minmus 2 is definitely in dire need of some extra nitrogen tanks, so that we can just do a lot more EVAs. Okay, you know what? Let's save the game here, just in case something goes really wrong for no apparent reason. And it kind of does. Damn it. Can I use RCS to kind of push myself? This is a little annoying. Damn it. It kind of wants to rotate, which is really annoying. And I can't push it the other way. Alright, hopefully we will be able to... Actually, you know what? We can limit the thrust on all engines except one and try to rotate ourselves that way. Yeah, that is working. That is weird, but it's working. Let's deploy the chutes here. And there we go. The drag chutes, the drogue chutes successfully slowed us down. Wasn't the best landing ever, because the aerodynamic qualities of this stage are questionable at best, but the good part is that, I mean, we still had the decoupler available. In case we want to stage it, we could stage it. Alright, let's set the parachutes to lower deployment altitude and time warp the rest of the descent. So far, the mission's looking like a decent success. Please slow down! Damn it. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. Alright, because we deployed the parachutes later, we actually destroyed pretty much all of the things we tried to recover. But that's the Kerbal way, I guess. Damn it. Well, I'm actually glad that it didn't destroy the entire vehicle. I did had some thoughts to reload the save, but you know, let's not bother. That was a mistake, so let's pay for it. And we actually recovered some more science, which is definitely welcome, because we can research another node. The question is, what should we research? We can definitely research better landing, but that's not gonna give us much later on. Advanced construction, that should give us the Airstream protective shells, which is definitely nice to have, but again, not really required for now. Maybe we could actually research space exploration, because that will give us bigger tanks. Because I really don't like this kind of 1,000 part setups. It's kind of annoying. And it'll also give us a deployable antenna. So that's good. That's looking really interesting. We could also do recycling, or we could do electrics. I think we could research Probodyne, by the way. This is definitely an option. You know what? For now, let's research space explorations, because I want these bigger pressurized tanks. And by the way, we almost have enough money to upgrade research and development. Well, not quite, but still, we have quite a few. Okay, so it says here that we need to go on an orbital spaceport near Mon. By the way, our Minmus lander is capable of landing on Mon. I think it is. Definitely has the Delta V to do that. Oh, we can accept this contract to bring a green sandstone on Minmus back to Kerbin. Yes, please. So that will give us a lot of money. Science data from surface of Mon. Yeah, we can definitely go for a Mon landing, actually. We can definitely do that. Or at least just go in orbit. Like I said, the goal here is to just kind of progress through the scientific stuff, or rather, the progression stuff slower than we potentially can. The reason for that being is that I want to plow through all of these contracts and complete all of them, which will hopefully give us a lot of money to research the R&D facilities and also some science, because these contracts, by the way, they do give you quite a bit of science. Not this one. This one, for example, 2 science here, 1 science here, 3 science here. So they do give some science, and that is definitely welcome. Alright, not entirely sure. But I think, yeah, I think our vehicle here is actually a good base. I really like the design. I mean, the design is actually really good, because it does have a lot of Delta V. It is easy to fly, and most importantly, with a few minor... Oh, by the way, I forgot to save. This is technically Minmus 2, and Minmus 1 was the weird design. Oh no, wait. I'm sorry. That was the Minmus Clipper, right? The Minmus Clipper is a weird design, and Minmus 1 is our upgraded, but we can still upgrade it even further. So let's go ahead and do that. And this will actually, I think this vehicle deserves of a better name. Can anybody tell me a good name for a spacecraft? This naming is hard. Naming is very hard. You know what? Let's wait for now. Come on, give me some suggestions for names. I really need at least some. Actually, we'll check the vertical stream in case someone posts there. By the way, yeah, if you're in vertical stream, please go ahead and switch to the normal stream. Yeah, I really like Latin words. Fortunately, I don't know Latin. Okay, you know what? I'll just keep upgrading the vehicle for now, and you go ahead and think of a cool name. Alright, well, let's get these big containers here. Damn, these are some powerful things. Okay, we can actually add them like this, horizontally. And these one will be hydrogen tanks, these one will be oxygen tanks, and then we can still use the small tanks here on the sides. We can just add them and fill them with nitrogen, which will give us plenty of nitrogen to perform EVAs. Or is it? I mean, our pod has 600 nitrogen, and that was good for 6 EVAs, so pretty much every single EVA is about 100 nitrogen. And these 2 tanks will give us like 30 EVAs. Yeah, that's good enough. What's the purpose of it? I mean, the purpose is to make a vehicle that is capable of both Mun landings or Minmus landings, and in general, I really like this design for now, and I want to make something a bit more reusable. Reusable not in like the SpaceX kind of style, which when you have the entire vehicle launched again, reusable in the sense that I will use the same rockets for different types of missions, that kind of thing. All right. Let's go ahead and finish our design here. So for the lower stage, we can actually upgrade it even further. I think we could go for like 4 kickbacks, maybe, potentially, don't know, not sure. Oh, damn it, we have the mobile processing lab capable. By the way, the mobile processing lab is a lot less powerful in Kerbalism. Like in default game, it is the absolute insane Giga Chad, but in Kerbalism it's like, it's there. You can use it. Utilis? What is that? I'm like a bit suspicious. Let me Google what that word means. Okay. I'm a bit suspicious. Damn it. Oh, that is. Okay, I get it. I get it. Yeah. You know what? Let's go ahead. I hope I spelled that correctly. Like I said, if you name a vehicle, it'll be named after you. If you participate in chat, because I really like participation, please go ahead and do that. Thank you. All right. Yeah, I really like this design because it is kind of versatile. It can land on Mun, it can land on Minmus. It has a lot of Delta V. It has some security features built in with like the twin engine redundancy here. All right. For now, let's see what else can we do. I mean, could actually go for a hydrogen design, liquid hydrogen, for the lower stages. That's definitely an option. Oh, cargo storage. I mean, we could start setting up something down low. I definitely do want to start carrying EVA experiments, EVA repair kits here. Let me put 4 of those right there. And swap that for a parachute. Alright. Actually, you know what? I do want to bring a scientist with me this time, because I think Bob will be upgraded if we land on Mun with him. It's definitely something that I want to do. Alright, okay, as for our current design, we have a contract to go in spaceport near Mun. And I mean, we can go for a Mun landing, or we could actually, I'm not sure what our next contract will be. Because there's a decent chance that the next contract will be some, like, go land on Minmus. And I want to have some extra Delta V to perform that. So we'll just go into orbit of Mun, and from Mun, we'll be able to go to Minmus. Because, I mean, we can perform quite long missions by this point. I mean, in terms of stress, we're covered. And if we add a few more, for example, if we just add one of these big life support boxes, we'll be covered in terms of food for ages. Like, quite literally. I mean, currently our design, in terms of food, it's 39 days. In terms of hydrogen, it's only 10 days for some reason. Why is that? That sounds wrong. That just sounds wrong. It says that our hydrogen will last for only 2 days. But what is using so much electricity? Oh, it's pressure control. For some reason, it says that it will use a lot of pressure control. I think there's like some weird bug here. Not entirely sure how this works. For some reason, it like really wants to use a lot of pressure control, and it like uses a lot of electricity, which kind of Ah, damn it. Kerbalism bugs, they're ever present. You know what, let's ignore that for now. So like I was trying to say, we can add a few of these supply boxes here. The big ones, and we'll be covered in terms of food for like ages. Our electricity will be also pretty good. I mean, we can actually, you know what, let's add even more of these oxygen tanks, even more of these hydrogen tanks, and we'll just kind of brute force our way into making this a very long-term vehicle. I mean, it will be able to sit in orbit for as long as it wants. So we can do long-duration missions, which is definitely a nice to have. Alright, so we'll have this one. By the way, I forgot about antennas. Damn it, I constantly forget. So our food will last us 1 year if we use these large boxes, which is a bit overpowered. Yeah, we definitely don't need that much. Yeah, you know what? Let's switch to smaller boxes. The problem is like the small boxes are too small, the big boxes are too big. There's just kind of huge discrepancy there. Okay, let's switch these all to food. This will give us 119 days of supplies, which is definitely more than we need. In terms of electricity, again, it's powered by fuel cells, which is suboptimal. But I mean, it can stay for long periods during nighttime on Mun, which is a good thing, for example, or in Minmus actually. So we're not really tied to a specific location, which is good, which is nice. All right, so food, water, oxygen, everything looks pretty great here. Right, I think we're good with that. And like I was saying, there's a decent chance that we can actually use a more powerful engine here, like the Boodle. We can put that bad boy here, and it'll obviously not be able to perform at low altitudes, but here's the thing. While it's not going to be very useful at low altitudes, it's a good upper stage engine, which will give us tons of Delta V. Like, it'll give us, like, what? A couple thousand Delta V there? Yeah, like, it'll give us, like, 25,000 Delta V. So what we can do is we can just have these big engines kind of push us almost to orbit, and then we can use the Poodle engine for most of our missions there. I mean, this looks like a very powerful design in terms of, like, it can go very far. We put 4 of these like this. Oh, we're too heavy. I'm sorry, we can't do that. But I mean, it was a nice start. I was just hoping to make a weird design that can just do absolutely insane missions, like multiple missions at the same time. I mean, we technically still kind of can do that in a way, sort of. We can just remove some of these fuel tanks. Do like this. That looks extra weird, but it's gonna work pretty well. The problem that I have is that the lower stage here will have a very low thrust to weight ratio, even in vacuum. So that's suboptimal. Yes, so even though the Poodle engine does look like a good thing in general, it's not powerful enough. But here's the thing, we can try going for a liquid hydrogen design. So let's see what engines do we have. We have this like huge ass engine, Erebus, which is really, really cool. The problem is that it doesn't have a lot of ignitions. I do want for the second stage some engine that's gonna have a decent amount of ignitions, so that it's not gonna just get me to orbit, but it'll also allow me to make the beginning of transition to somewhere, which will just give the entire vehicle a lot of Delta V in total. But unfortunately, I don't really see any engine that's really capable of doing that. Most of these are rated for like 2 ignitions tops, and those that are good enough for multiple cycles are just not powerful enough. Liquid methane engines also not. Well, I mean, all right. You know what? Let's put the skipper engine for now. I think it's good enough. I think this is fine. This is good. This is like skipper engine. Let's put it to small style. I mean, we could use 2.5 meter parts, but I'm not ready for that emotionally. This is fine. This is fine. Poodle is for vacuum. Also, maybe lower thrust limit on the SRBs. They're going to be quite powerful. Yeah. The design choice I wanted to make is push with the SRBs from thick atmosphere and then start the Poodle engine. But unfortunately, it's just not powerful enough. It doesn't have enough oomph because our upper stage is quite heavy. Like, it really is quite heavy. So I guess we'll just use the skipper engine. I mean, we can still service it because it can be serviced by pretty much any Kerbal. It doesn't really matter if it's an engineer or not. So we'll just roll with that for now. I mean, that's fine. This is fine. Everything's fine. I'm not coping. Alright, let's push these a little lower. Okay, this looks good enough. Okay, we have spent way too much time on this. I think we can just kind of roll. Because in vacuum, this has like 6,000 delta V. It's definitely enough. Why do I feel like there is people that hate if someone on YouTube does know how every single detail of how to build something is HP? I don't know. I don't think that no, I definitely don't hate if okay, I'm not sure what you're trying to imply, but in general I don't consider myself as a person that can design any spacecraft. I know that there are guys on YouTube which are way more skilled. They can, like, you know, one of those, oh, you know what, guys, today we're gonna be flying this segment grinder to Eve surface and back. As you can see, our entire vehicle here is 125 kilograms, but I think that should be enough for an Eve landing. I'm not that kind of guy, I'm sorry. That's just not me. I do know some stuff. I wouldn't say that I'm bad. Like, I know a bunch of tricks that you can use, but in general, like, I don't know. I do consider myself a relatively skilled pilot, but definitely not overpowered. I'm actually thinking, what if we put 3 of these? That could give us some extra. Oh. Okay, let's just roll with it for now. I think this is fine. I think this is good enough. We definitely can upgrade it later if we really have to. By the way, one thing I do want to do is put these thrusters somewhere else. I want to put them right here so that our vehicle will be RCS balanced. Like that. And I'm gonna put these tanks somewhere else because they're kind of annoying. They're sitting there for no apparent reason, just being annoying. I wanna put these bad boys here. That looks like a good place for them. Why is it not allowing me to put 2? I want 2 of these. Thank you very much, damn it. Why is it annoying like that sometimes? Okay, let's put our mystery goo units here. Let's put these things. Can't we just slap them right there? Okay, that's... Let's just slap them right onto the food parts. Not like we're gonna be using that. Or we could actually, you know what? We could just put one of them. I kind of want to have a nice design. We can put them right here, and then we can put these there. Okay, finally. I figured the design that I would like to use. 4 Terriers decrease efficiency. I have 4 Terriers, not because I want to have a lot of efficiency, but because there's this thing called engine failures. And if one engine fails, guess what? Your vehicle's gonna do like this. Zoink! What I can do in that case is just shut down the opposite engine, and that'll allow me to save the mission, even if it happens like mid-flight. Yeah, like I said, I do have some experience with carbalism. I'm not that oblivious. But yeah, that's like the classic mistake that happens when people kind of go for this. I know what, I think 2 engines will suffice, and then 1 engine fails, and they have asymmetric thrust, and the vehicle goes like... And they're like, no! Luckily, Jebediah has survived through the early stages, because in the early stages of Kerbalism playthrough, the chances that something will go wrong are very high. And there's like not a lot of things that you can do to kind of prepare for that. You just kind of have to just spray and pray. Right now we do have the ability to make vehicle designs that are slightly more safe. Okay, I think we have spent way more time than we need on this design, so let's go ahead. Finally launch something. Alright, let's go for it. By the way, what's happening in vertical stream? Nothing much, okay. Doesn't matter. Alright, here we go. This is actually one long stream, but I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. Feeling good with this one. Okay, so we got Bill here for some reason. Not Bob. Damn it. Alright, let's give Bill a Mon landing in his resume. That's fine. That's good enough. Okay, yeah, I think we're good for launch. Start the engine, everything started perfectly fine, and off we go. Damn it, I forgot to put better quality on the skipper engine there. God damn it. Well, I mean, we'll be able to service it once we get to orbit, and I think we'll use all of the fuel reserves before that even happens. But yeah. We can definitely turn the skipper off and use the Terrier engines for better efficiency when we get to orbit. Or, no, we cannot because we can't enable crossfeed. Damn it, I forgot about that. Well, doesn't matter. We still have way more delta V than we probably need for a Mon landing. Especially since we're not going for a Mon landing right now, we're going for a Mon orbit. That's it. Let's start going, transitioning to orbit here. Okay, stage the boosters. The boosters fly away nicely because we have additional wings on them. Very nice, very cool, and we're rotating to horizontal flight. Everything's looking really, really nice here. I mean, we can still... Nah, we can't punch the engines because we don't have crossfeed there. God! Damn it. Alright, this is fine. This is good enough. Not every launch has to be absolutely perfect. This is good enough. Okay, we are taking a rather low ascent profile here, but I think we are sufficiently aerodynamic that we can kind of afford that. I'm more worried here about that we just don't overspeed it, because we do have those landing legs which are not very sturdy in terms of the maximum temperatures that they can afford. Okay, I think we have screwed up here because we turned the engine off pretty much almost when it was time to stage it. And yeah, it has failed. It just failed entirely. Okay, doesn't matter much. We can just separate it here. Let's go create the maneuver node for circularization. Yoink. Like that. That looks good enough. This, and we can start burn shortly here. Why is it showing that the burn time is 2 minutes? I think, yeah, that's not correct. It's 35 seconds. I think there's some weird bug there. Okay, let's time warp here a little bit. Oh, because it was, for some reason, interfering with atmosphere or something like that. Okay, looking good right now. Again, let's switch to Magja because it has better control. Now let's finish our burn here. It's gonna be fine. Circle rise, and off we go. By the way, there's a decent chance that we can start Science Juniors here, but I'm not gonna do that for now because I think we haven't researched everything near Mun. So maybe going into Mun orbit will be a good chance to perform all of that. That sounds like a good idea. Okay, let's finish circularizing here. We are in orbit. And, I mean, let's do some stuff. Okay, so first of all, we have this, like, weird contract that we have that we need to point a dish at one of Kerbin's moons. So let's go ahead and do that. First of all, we need to activate our antenna and point it at mission control. And unfortunately, it still doesn't have a connection because screw us, that's why. Because we're obstructed by our moon here. But we can still turn this antenna on. We can still turn it on. And we can point the other antenna at Mun and activate it. Which will unfortunately use up quite a bit of electricity. But it is what it is. Also. What I mean, we can just kind of time warp here. Or I think it'll perform that contract anyway. What we can also do is we have this like weird contract for like orbit of Kerbin science, or have we completed that? Yeah, I think we have completed that accidentally. Oh well. All right. You know what? Let's just go for a Mun transition here. Create the maneuver node. Thank you very much. And I think that's good enough. Okay, this is way too many patched conics. Let me reduce the count there to like 4. Okay, that is slightly better. No, it's still not better. I want 3. I think 3 is fine. Because I just can't realize which one of those is the big starting one. Okay, this one. Alright, I think that periapsis is good enough. So let's just go ahead and complete the burn here. Let's make a Mun insertion. Time warp here a little bit. Damn, I'm actually starting to enjoy this playthrough because the early stages of the playthrough were just so annoying. It was really, really hard. A, because I was just starting streaming in general and it was kind of hard for me to understand how to do this. I had to spend a lot of time fiddling with my equipment, with the laptop, OBS, just making sure everything's working. When will Infected on the Mun Part 2 come out? Very soon. I finally have the capability to film it, and I'm filming it right now. The problem is that I do want to spend a little bit more time on Part 2, because I need to have the script perfectly aligned for Part 3, because Part 1 is, there's not a lot of plot going on. Part 2 definitely is going to be a lot more plot going on, so we definitely have to like kind of make sure that it'll align perfectly for Part 3. But I am filming it right now, so that's definitely coming very soon there. So I hope you will enjoy it when it comes out. Alright, you know what? Let's not do much here. I mean, we just have to circularize. I'm not sure what the next contract will be, so... But if it is going to be landing on Mon, then we should probably bring our periapsis lower here. Yeah, you know what? Let's do that. Bring our periapsis as low as possible, like that. 28 kilometers sounds good enough. By the way, why are we so misaligned? Can I please create another maneuver node to just kind of correct our descending nodes? Thank you very much. Just make another maneuver node because we do have a little bit of an aggressive trajectory there. I'm not sure that's a good thing. I want to correct it because I don't want to go too polar. Okay, yeah, that looks good enough. Let's perform that maneuver. Let's time warp to it, and let's just make that short burn. Okay. So like I was saying, I actually am enjoying this playthrough a lot more right now because the beginning was hard due to technical issues that I was having, especially with my GPU. I've solved that right now, but it was quite a bit of a problem. But even more importantly, it was just in general that the beginning was hard because we didn't really have a lot of the technologies that I'm so reliant on. Right now we have a lot more equipment that we can use, which is definitely very nice. And as you can see, I'm using RCS here to just kind of align us slightly better. Okay. And yeah, that's gonna be our Mon insertion rather. Okay, let's go ahead and time warp to it. Okay, so while I can, let me explain a few more things. Oh, by the way, we have completed the contract to point a dish out from Kerbin. As you can see, we have one antenna pointing towards the Kerbal Space Center and another antenna pointing to Mon. Which means that currently this vehicle is acting as sort of a relay-ish. Not really, it can't retransmit signs, but it still can retransmit signal for basic control of probes and everything. So like I was saying, I'm enjoying this playthrough a lot more right now because we just have all of these technologies, everything. Just makes it for a much more pleasant playthrough. Because the beginning was kind of hard, especially with the don't revert back unless something terrible happens. It was kind of annoying. Several streams got kind of ruined because of that. Okay, so we have to go on a spacewalk near Mon. Let's go do that. Dear Bill, would you mind going on a spacewalk and performing some EVA science while you're at it? Okay, EVA report starts. Perform EVA science starts. Let's do that stuff. Whee! Alright, let's save that. And you know what? While we're at it, there's something that we can do. We can go check the engines. Inspect engine. Inspect engine. We can potentially service them if they're not brand new. They are brand new right now, kind of. So we don't really have to service them, but we might do that later on. It's definitely nice to have, since we do have an engineer on board. Let's use all of the potential. Okay, get back into the... There's this thing flying. Background. I didn't know that the object for it is not destroyed when you enter the IVA. It just still is there, which is kind of hilarious. Alright, so like I was saying, we have... Oh, we need to go to orbit in order to perform that. Well, Alright, let's go to orbit. Jesus Christ. Let's make a maneuver node to circularize. Let's time warp to it. We'll perform that. I mean, we'll also be able to perform the spacewalk near low space of Mon, which will allow us to probably get even more science. By the way, do we have Science Junior? No, we have completed all of the research here. Alright. Noted. Okay, that is definitely something that I like to know. Yeah, let's circularize here, just get into sort of an high elliptical orbit. Doesn't really care how it is. Bill's gonna go for another IVA. Unfortunately, the science experiments packs, for some reason, they don't get used up when you go and perform them, which is kind of annoying because you can take a lot of them, but there's no reason to do so, which is slightly annoying. Alright, let's finish the EVA reports, which will give us 18 science. That's actually pretty good. It's actually pretty solid. Let's finish that, and we will board. And after we have boarded and buckled up, everything's very nice. We have a bunch of data that we will be able to transmit back to Kerbin, but most importantly, right now, I just want to see, since we have completed a bunch of contracts, we can definitely go and take a look. Maybe we can complete some more contracts. Let's go to Space Center, see what we can do. We can definitely go for a Mon landing, or we could try to transition to Minmus from here. It's definitely an option. Because, like I said, our vehicle is capable for quite long sustained flight. So we can just not bother. Which is definitely very nice. Yeah, I mean, I love this vehicle so much. Explore Kerbin. We can go on an orbital spacewalk near Kerbin. And we can transfer crew vessels near Kerbin. So that's definitely a thing that we can do. Or can we do some other contract? Because I would like to get like a Mon orbit contract. This is gonna be slightly better. Preferably I want to get a contract to explore the surface of either Mon or Minmus, because we will be able to do that easily from now. And that'll give us even more science. Because this contract is, it's not really very useful. Okay, you know what? Let's time warp here. 2 days, and just see if we can get a different contract. Almost there. Damn it, I oversped it a little bit. And it still gave us the Explore Kerbin. But we did get a contract to plant the flag on the Mon. Unfortunately, we still don't have the contract from this. Damn it, it's kind of annoying because I really want to complete the contract of planting flag on the Mon. It does give us a lot of money, but also these contracts are kind of interesting in terms of money. Actually, you know what? We have this contract to transfer any crew between 2 vessels. And we could also take a contract to rescue somebody from orbit of Kerbin. So we can just do that. Damn it, that's genius. Let's do that. Okay, so the problem is that we have one contract that we have to decline because we don't have enough space, and I don't want to upgrade mission control because it's just too expensive for now. And this contract is not something that I'm very keen on performing anyway, so let's go ahead and cancel it. We'll have to pay a fine, but that's fine. So let's go ahead and do this contract. We'll just go save some dude from orbit. By the way, we can even research electrics or advanced construction or propulsion systems. We can research stuff. You know what? Let's research this one. And we can actually start launching satellites into orbit right now. Damn it, this is looking really good. This is looking really nice. So let's go ahead and do that. You know what? Let's do that. This episode, though, is already like 2 hours long. But I'm really in the mood for just continuing. This is looking really good. Okay, we obviously don't need this huge spacecraft, because it's way overkill for what we're trying to do. I would much rather have like a small spacecraft that we're just gonna launch to recover a bunch of Kerbals. And the easiest way to do that is to just use something like the Hitchhiker storage container or these habitation modules. Because they do give us a lot of crew capacity while still being relatively light-ish. Yeah, these look pretty good. So the goal here is just make a small spacecraft that's just gonna be able to get into orbit and just transfer crew to orbit and from it in bulk, basically. Like the space bus that we tried to do, but better. The space bus was kind of annoying because it only has crew for one. It's generally a pretty bad vehicle. But what we can do is, if we can do like the space bus Mark II, that's definitely gonna be interesting. So let's go ahead and do that. Name is Space Bus Mark II. And it's gonna be a rocket that's gonna be capable of moving Kerbals in bulk from orbit to orbit. Very nice. It'll also be able to perform some tourist operations, which is a nice bonus. So we could use a Mark I crew cabin, but it's a little bit over. It's like not very good in terms of the. It's a 1.25 meter parts. So I'm actually more interested in these ones. Except I don't know what side, what's their diameter. Can we see that somewhere? Can we sort parts by, where is it? Cross-section profile, and we can go to 1.85 in, oh damn it, all of them are actually suitable. Well, we can take this one for 3. Or we can take this one for 5. I mean, the 5 one is a little big, but it also allows us to have some setups like flight modules, which is definitely nice. And it also will allow us to put radiation detoxification units there later on, which is kind of cool. So let's research that. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be one big module, but if we can use it, it's gonna be pretty cool. Alright, this looks pretty nice. So let's get the rest of it going. So first of all, we definitely want a heat shield, at least on the lower stage here. We definitely want a lot of parachutes, and we definitely need some landing legs. Some powerful landing legs, actually. Fortunately, we don't have big landing legs research for now, so we'll have to use the smaller ones for now. Let's put them to silver. And we definitely need a lot of parachutes, because this vehicle is heavy. This is like already 4 tons. So definitely want some drogue chutes, and then just let's toggle the flag here, and just put as many parachutes as we possibly can here. Just absolutely shove them all on here. That does look a little ugly though. Damn it, I don't like it. You know what? Let's make vehicle designs that are looking good. Not only practical, but also but also looking good. We're gonna add 4 of them like this, and I think 4 parachutes should be enough. Although our vehicle is about 5 tons, which is kind of a lot. We can put more of them. Yeah, this is definitely enough. This is hella many parachutes, and with the landing legs, this would definitely be enough. Alright, by the way, what's the skin temperature? It's 2000 Kelvin. It's actually pretty solid. But let's still leave the heat shield there, just in case. Okay, alright, the problem is that this vehicle by itself is kind of useless for now. We definitely want to have more stuff going on in terms of Delta V. Alright, so right now we can actually start using the Poodles, or we can use liquid hydrogen engines. The problem with liquid hydrogen engines, though, is that they require electricity to cool liquid hydrogen, which is kind of annoying. Or we could use the Sphinx liquid fuel engine. I'm just trying to think of a design that's gonna allow us to have a lot of ignitions, and at the same time that will be reasonably lightweight. Just gonna be good for orbits. Not entirely sure, because all of these engines are either too powerful or not powerful enough. They're just kind of annoying. God damn it. I mean, we could still do... I just love the Terrier engines because they're just so versatile. You know what? We could put 2 of these fuel tanks on the sides here. Yeah, like that, and we can have Terrier engines for our upper stage, because we don't need a lot of Delta V. I mean, something like a... Oh, damn, this will give us 1600 meters of Delta V. That is definitely enough. That is for sure more than we need. So let's go ahead and use this for our upper stage. Now we definitely also will require some RCS thrusters here. And actually, you know what, let's start using solar panels. Let's just add a bunch of them somewhere here. Unfortunately, these small solar panels, they don't produce a lot of electricity. So in order to have a reasonable electricity production rate, we will have to add an absolutely insane amount of them. But it is what it is. Also, let's add some battery banks here. Just put these small ones on the sides here. And just kind of shove a bunch of them right there. Just like that. Just put a lot of them. Because the goal is to allow our vehicle to live in the shadow for a decent amount of time. And we can also use these things called capacitor banks, which are kind of cool because they allow for us to store electricity when we have a lot of it and then quickly discharge it. And they're very, very powerful in terms of the storage capacity. They can store tons of electricity, which is definitely welcome. All right, let's put them right there, and okay, that's good enough. Now we just, oh damn it, I think I screwed up the batteries. I put them in ×3. I want to do ×4. All right, so we are covered in terms of electricity. We are covered in terms of, not covered in terms of food and all that kind of stuff. So let's do that. So let's put 2 of these big supply boxes here. Actually gonna put them right here, which is a bit asymmetrical, which is something that I don't like, but you know what, let's do it like this. We definitely need a bunch of oxygen tanks on the sides here, so we can put them in like 4 times configuration like this. And we're definitely gonna need some nitrogen too, because we expect this vehicle to perform a bunch of EVAs. So what we can do is actually just put these smaller tanks here for nitrogen. These are going to be nitrogen tanks. These are going to be big oxygen tanks. And then we're just going to add a bunch of supply boxes with food and water and all that good stuff. And that should give us roughly 60-something days worth of supplies. Actually, here's the thing. We don't really need that much oxygen if we have so little food, because oxygen right now will last us like a year or something for 2 crew. But food will last only 87 days. So yeah, let's add bigger supply boxes here with like more food and oxygen. So water will last us a year, food a year, and oxygen also a year. Great, very good. But we still need to add nitrogen tanks, so let's go ahead and do that. Where should I put them? Damn it. I kind of want to keep the vehicle relatively symmetrical here. Because I like symmetry, and Kerbalism also likes symmetry. Okay, you know what? Let's put them like that. Mark them that they're going to be nitrogen tanks, and that's good. So currently our oxygen, water, and food supplies are pretty much forever. Electricity is also pretty good. Gonna add a lot of shielding. And yeah, the vehicle did become quite heavy, but I think it's fine. This is fine. Everything's fine. I'm not coping. I do want to keep more electric capacity, unfortunately, because right now, if we are in shadow, it'll only last for 2 hours, which sounds decent at first, but then you start factoring in stuff like experiments running or some other stuff running. So let's just add a few more batteries here. Okay, that'll last us almost 3 hours, which is definitely much better. Alright, radiation, habitats, everything's good. Alright, let's also see how we can configure our crew experiments. We can put the float experiment. Fortunately, it's a really hard experiment to perform, so I'm not gonna put it there for now. We can put the scrubber, we can put pressure control. It's definitely nice. And we can also... Oh, we can't do sickbay modules for now. Well, oh well. But for now, I think this is fine. This is like a good upper stage, which will be able to perform a lot of maneuvers. Oh, I completely forgot about RCS thrusters. Damn it, we still have to add those in. So let's go ahead and do that. We're obviously gonna need some RCS fuel tanks, which we can just add here. Kind of botch them in there. Like that. That looks good enough. Okay, just put them right there. And the capacitor banks that I took away, we can put somewhere else. Where can we put the capacitor banks? God damn it. Move out of the way, please. We need to add capacitor banks. You know what? We don't really need them. Who cares about capacitor banks? Nobody. Nobody does. Nobody likes them. I mean, that was probably an overstatement. They're kind of cool. Oh, wait, we can put them right here. I know where to put them. Right there. Look at that. Perfect placement. Absolutely diabolical. I mean, we don't really need direct access to them, so that's fine. Can you please go away? Damn it. Okay, let's just put them slightly lower like that, and yeah, that's good enough. Okay. Alright, so that's gonna be our upper stage. Let's finally go ahead and build the lower stage as well. Okay, this thing will have a bit of high codes. Can I shield here to someone I watch Chris live? Sure. I mean, why not? Definitely not gonna be against that. I mean, if you'll like it, then great. If you won't, then oh well. You can definitely chill around here. Definitely not against that. I mean, streams are kind of for chilling, or not really serious serious videos. All right. So let's go ahead and build the lower stage here. Let's start using these bigger tanks, 2.5 meters, because our upper stage is pretty damn heavy. So we do want to start using these hefty tanks here. RCS booster was blocking the exits. Yeah, you have to be careful about that, but I think I have the exits here pretty set up. By the way, you kind of reminded me, I added the fuel tanks for RCS, but I didn't add the RCS. Thank you very much for being here. You actually kind of saved me. Yeah, let's go add RCS. We're gonna have to balance it here. Just gonna put them right here, to here, and to here. And that should balance it very nicely, just like that. Very good. All balanced, all set up. Yeah, looks good enough. Alright, now let's build the lower stage. We're gonna use the skipper for our primary engine, and boy is that a lot of delta V. That is like way more delta V. Which is a problem, because the skipper engine does not have a lot of ignitions. That's kind of annoying. What mods do you use? Yes, this is primarily based on Kerbalism, but you can see all of the mods listed in the description of this video. There should be a link to the GitHub repo, and there are all of the mods there. Okay, cramming monopropellant balls. That's kind of funny. Alright, so like I said, we do have a bit of a problem that the skipper engine is an ICE engine, but it doesn't have a lot of ignitions, which is a problem. So actually, I'm starting to think whether we should add it at all, or we should try to keep a smaller design here. Not entirely sure. Yeah, the problem is it doesn't have a lot of shots. The Boodle does though. If we're gonna add the Boodle engine, it'll give us a lot of delta V, and it'll actually. But the problem with the Boodle is it won't give us a proper amount of thrust to weight ratios. This is really hard to balance out. No, this is career. This is career mod. This is not even science. This is full on career. We have money, we have science, we have all of these problems. Alright, for now, though, I think... Damn it. How should I go about this? I'm not entirely sure. You know what? It doesn't have a good thrust to weight ratio, but I guess it's fine. Or we could try going with like a smaller design. Not entirely sure what to do here. We could try using liquid hydrogen engines. That is an option, but it's a weird option. Because we can't really cool the hydrogen tanks right now. We don't really have the electricity production to do that. God damn it. You know what? Let's make it multi-stage design. We're gonna put this thing right here, which will be our upper stage. And for the lower stage, we're gonna have this decoupler, we're gonna have these fuel tanks, and then we'll add the skipper engine. That's the way we're gonna go. No, I definitely am sure that I will be able to leave the rocket. Like, I'm pretty sure. Just not gonna bother too much about it. Let's add a few more of these smaller fuel tanks, maybe. Add 2 of them like that. No, I I am aware that I have to make sure that none of the exits are blocked, but this is definitely not blocked. I mean, we have the exit here, we have the exit here, so that's good enough. You should have the hatch and EVA from there. Sometimes bypasses construction. You know what? There are like weird ways when you can, if you don't have access outside, you can't EVA. Yeah, you can use these Clampatron docking ports. In Kerbalism, you can definitely exit through there. So there's definitely like a weird way to go, but you can definitely do that. All right, let's upgrade the engine quality here. You know what? I actually do think I have a bunch of funds here, so I can actually use... Damn it, I looked at the cost of that fuel tank and I was like, no we don't. No we don't have a lot of funds. But I mean, we can put a big one there. Just have more Delta V. Just kind of brute force it. Alright, let's build the lower stage. We're gonna add the skipper engine here, which will give us a lot of Delta V, but not a lot of thrust. We definitely need a bunch of these nice little boosters on the sides to just kind of give us the Delta V that we need, and we're overweight. God damn it. Gotta remove these. That should help. Yeah, that kind of did. What's our thruster weight ratio with all of the engines plus boosters? It's 1.5, but that's in vacuum. In atmosphere, that's 1.4, which is good enough. Okay, it's good enough. Alright, gonna add that there, and let's just add the basic fins here. I'm gonna add 2 down low. 2 down low like that. Gonna add 2 here. And I'm actually gonna put the couple of them here, and I will angle them in a way that will produce lift in that direction away from the spacecraft. So that they will push the boosters away. That's a cool way that you can do if you want to make sure that the boosters are not gonna collide with the rest of your spacecraft. Damn it! Please rotate! What am I not paying you to do? Alright, so that's it. And also, let's add a few of these large winglets for good aerodynamic control. I have you a challenge idea. Use as much SRB as possible to get to Minmus. I mean, this is a career playthrough. This is not a challenge. I mean, if you want, I'll make a special stream just for you where we will make a full SRB mission to Minmus if you'll subscribe and bring like 100 friends. I'm just not really confident on doing that, but I mean, we can do that. I have made missions to, I think I've done a probe mission to Duna SRB only. Get to Duna and back. But that was in Star Game, that was not Kerbalism. It wasn't actually very cheap. Alright, I think we've got our rocket here fully set up. I think we're good to go, sort of. Yeah, okay. So let's go ahead and see. Can we accept a bunch more contracts right now? Oh, we already have a contract to save somebody from orbit, so let's go ahead and do that. I've never actually landed on a celestial body myself in KSP. I'm not good at this whole rocket science thing. It's actually not that hard. I mean, tell me what issues you have encountered. Maybe I'll be able to help you, but it shouldn't be that hard. Okay, by the way, let's autostrut the out of this vehicle. Because we can. Autostruts are great. I will have a video on autostruts coming tomorrow, hopefully, if I can finish editing. Alright, so everything's set up, everything's looking pretty good, and let's go ahead and launch it. We will have to take a very high ascent profile though. I can already feel it. I can feel the issues of having to take the high ascent profile, way, it is what it is. Alright, crew have Bob and Valentina. That's looking pretty good. By the way, let's put Valentina at the top seat. Right, let's go ahead. By the way, we need launch stability enhancers. Almost forgot about that. God damn it, it's so easy to forget about that. Definitely need those. And we have to put them into the next stage. So we start the engines, make sure everything's running, nothing has exploded, and only then do we release the launch stability enhancers. That's the way to do it. Alright, okay. Engine quality high on everything, because that's important. I can't figure out maneuver nodes, so I have to guess that orbit will happen. Then when I do encounter the mine, I don't pack enough fuel to stay in its orbits. Well, Delta V concerns are definitely a thing. If you want, there are a bunch of calculators which you can use online that will help you to estimate. I mean, you can kind of see your vacuum Delta V, and if it's like 6,000 or higher, then you can do a Mon landing. For a Mon landing, though, you probably want like 7,000. That's like definitely enough for a Mon landing. And in case you're struggling with maneuver nodes, you can use mods that will just create them for you. And I can show you right now how it's done. It's like really easy. For example, if you use Astrogator mod, which is in the mod pack that you can see in the description, you can just literally press one button and it'll just create the maneuver node, optimal maneuver node for you. And it'll do that both for Mon, Minmus, or any other celestial body. Bet I waste too much fuel. Well, I mean, I don't know how much fuel you waste, but I mean, just back a bit more. Should be good. But in case you're struggling with these basics, I definitely urge you to go into sandbox mode and just have some fun playing around. Just make sure that you are capable of doing everything reasonably well, and then you can start like careers or science modes and all that kind of stuff. It's just gonna be easier to start with simpler stuff. Alright, I think we're ready to launch. Let's go ahead and launch. I do have a tendency to sit here checking everything for hours at a time before launching. By the way, let me check the vertical stream. Do we have... well, we do have that one guy who came from vertical stream. Damn it. So it is working. People are transferring to the proper stream, which is definitely nice. Alright, let's go ahead and launch. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, we do want to intercept this wreckage, by the way. So I will set it as a target, and let's time warp here a little bit. Just wait for an optimal launch till it's nearly above us. Okay, that's good. Start the engines, make sure that everything's running. Only once everything is running, and I'm sure that nothing's gonna blow up in your face, only then do we start the rest. Because in Kerbalism, engines may fail, and if you have one of the boosters on the side that hasn't ignited, your vehicle's gonna do like thunk, which is why I first start the engines and only then do I release the clamps. Although I'm starting to worry that this vehicle won't have good enough thrust-to-weight ratio. This is not looking very good. Because our thrust-to-weight ratio is decent right now, but our next stage doesn't really have a lot of thrust-to-weight ratio. It's like barely 1. And you can launch vehicles with near 1 thrust-to-weight ratio, but it's just harder. And you have to kind of account for that. Okay, we have achieved booster burn off. We're gonna separate them. As you can see, they have nicely separated to our sides. And now we're just gonna continue burning. Our thrust to weight ratio is barely above 1, which is really suboptimal, but I guess we'll have to roll with it for now. Yeah, we definitely need a more powerful engine. lowest. It's actually using maneuver node burn time calculator. Can't figure out how to decipher it. Maneuver node burn time calculator? What is that? You mean the default instrument in case B? That thing sucks. Get a on. Get a venom on. The higher you are in atmosphere, the higher thrust to weight ratio is, so it's fine. It kind of is. Yes, I know. But the problem is that I want to have an efficient launch as well. I don't want to just get into orbit. I need a bunch more Delta V once we get into orbit. But for now, it's looking reasonably alright. This definitely won't be a stellar launch, but it is looking reasonably fine. Let me fiddle with the staging there a little bit, prepare to stage. And on we go. 3, 2, 1, stage it. And on we go with the next stage. Now, obviously, as we burn through fuel, our thrust-to-weight ratio will definitely increase, and damn it, we have allowed the wreckage to fly in front of us, which is a little annoying. Well, but alright, we can take the shortcut here. Right. The thing that says how long you need to burn for, if you're struggling with that, there's an option in the menu. You can turn it on. Let me check that. Extended burn indicator, you can turn that on. And what that will do is it not only, like, I'll just create a maneuver node. See, it will not only show the when the node is, so you have like time before that maneuver node, but you also have like burn time, how long do you have to burn for, and you also have this like nice thing when you have to start burn. So you just have to fire engines when you see the like start burn in 3, 2, 1, and you just launch like that. So that's how you use it. Alright, unfortunately here we are running a little bit low on stuff. Damn it. Can we enable CrossFit? Oh, we can enable CrossFit, so we can actually, you know what, let's go ahead, fire these 2 other engines here for that extra thrust to weight ratio. We need all of it. God damn it. Because we are very slow on our ascent, but we're like barely making it. Yeah, the design is definitely not perfect because our lower stages are just not equipped for proper flight. Because I took too big of a fuel tank here, I was just too greedy. Partly because I have bought it, so just like, why not use it? Thanks, now I'm trying launching the rocket I made that is perfectly capable of flying. Man, I just don't have the intelligence to do so. Like I said, go get the Astrogator mod. I'll show it, just stay on the stream for like a few more seconds and I'll show you how to use it. It's so easy. It's just very nice. It'll auto-create the maneuver node for you so you can have the launch, the landing. Not landing, like the mod insertion orbits planned for you so you don't really have to do anything. Keeping the stream open on my second monitor. Thank you very much. I really like when people watch my streams because that means a lot for me. Alright, so we are almost in orbit-ish. Oh damn it, we have been using this stupid fuel from these small tanks. Damn it, I don't want to do that. Especially since we can't transfer fuel right now. God damn it. That is suboptimal. Why was it not using... Oh, because we don't have fuel transfer yet. Because there's the heat shield, so it wasn't using this fuel, it was also using that. God damn it. That is suboptimal, but alright. Okay, so the goal here is to get into a low orbit. Let me just create a maneuver node to circularize here, and I'll show you how to do maneuvers on the example of that one. Okay, so I'm just gonna create a maneuver here. And as you can see, it shows me down low when to start burning. And all I have to do is just point my vehicle in the maneuver node direction, and then once the start burn in gets to 0, I just start the engine. That's kind of it. Just gonna shut these 2 engines down for now. Okay. Wait for it a little bit, and once it gets to like start burn in to 0 seconds, then you start the engine. It's kind of it. Okay, we'll start the engine here. We'll time warp through the maneuver because it's really simple. And voila, we are in orbit. That's good enough. Thank you very much. And now all we have to do is just time warp a little bit till we get near that wreckage to save the guy. Gonna have to time warp a little. Oh, by the way, yeah, let me show you the astrogator. So what you can do with the astrogator, you just press this button here. It opens up this window, and for example, you want to go to Mon. You just press this button, create maneuver for Mon. Ta-da! And it has automatically created a maneuver for you. Look at that. It has created a perfect maneuver, which will get you to Mon's orbit. And you can also use stuff for like for basically intercepting other vehicles and a lot more than that. There's like you can use some settings here. There's like, don't fiddle with that. You can just use the basics with like creating maneuver nodes to Mon and everything. It's really nice. Also, the Minmus lander should be good with 1 engine, so putting on one of the bottom of the ladder will decrease the weight and drag during descent. This is not a Minmus lander, but okay. Alright, you know what? Let's time warp here a little bit. Let's set this as a target, and yeah, we just want to intercept it at some point. Look at that. I think we'll be able to intercept it on the next pass. Yeah, we will be able to. We'll actually have to make a slight maneuver node. Let's use astrogator for that, which is gonna click here, and it'll create the maneuver node to get into an intercept. Almost a perfect one. And now we can just time warp till the maneuver node. And I think it's going to be a prograde maneuver. I'm pretty sure of that. And yes, I am correct. Just going to make that small maneuver. Like I said, the bus that we have here is suboptimal for now. But, I mean, we're getting there. It's hard to make the vehicles perfect from the first time. At least it will succeed in its mission. It's gonna be good enough. Okay, actually gonna perform the burn here. Yep, good enough. And now we can actually use RCS here to make the intercept closer. Let me just open up the docking procedure, and now I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it, see if I can get the intercept closer. Or maybe we can just like not bother too much about it. I mean, if we get to within like 2 kilometers, that is good enough for our purposes here. Yeah, that's good enough. Okay. Alright, let's just time warp till we meet it. Meet and greet, if you will. By the way, what's our resources? Do we have everything? So our food, oxygen, nitrogen will last us pretty much forever, which is really good. I mean, I might leave these guys in orbit for quite some time. Or maybe I'll just do several of these rescue missions. And we have found the guy. Great. Let's switch the vehicle. And we'll actually be able to go on an EVA here. The guy should have a jetpack. And we should be able to intercept intercept our space bus here, like that. Okay, alright. And now we can just start slowing down a little bit. Okay, okay. Time warp a little bit, just so you guys don't have to wait ages, and neither do I. I also don't want to wait ages. Nobody likes waiting ages. Damn it, I'm so bad with RCS controls. Like, I absolutely am diabolically bad with them. There is, like, definitely a lot of stuff I can improve my skills in. Okay, careful with the time warp when we're getting close to it. Alright, and let's just aim for the ladder here. You have returned. Great. I'm glad that you're staying here and hopefully enjoying the stream. Okay, let's get to the ladder here. Boink. And in we go. And we have successfully rescued the guy. Well, almost-ish. Alright, let's go to Space Center, see what it's going to do. What's the mod called? I'll install it. It's called Astrogator. And you can find it in the links in the description. There's like gonna be a link to my GitHub repo, and you can see a list of all the mods there, including Astrogator. Alright, oh, look at that. We can have one mod about returning Bob Kerman because he has an emergency. Well, that's interesting. I mean, damn it, I kind of want to accept more of these contracts. I want more stuff. God damn it. Plant a flag on Minmus. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Here's the thing. We could definitely accept and upgrade our mission control, which will allow us to perform, to accept many contracts. But I'm also kind of saving funds for the R&D facility because we really need that stuff. So yeah, you know what? Let's return the bus for now. Let's test the landing, see how that goes. Because the space bus, even though it did bring a bunch of resources into orbit, which is definitely nice, it's not perfect. It definitely can be improved. By the way, let's kill the wreckage here, and let's land our space bus. We'll test the landing here. Alright, so we're just gonna point retrogrades, and let's just make sure we will land somewhere near the island airfield. I'm actually gonna time warp to about here. It's called CCAN. It's called CCAN. I have a video about CCAN. You can just open it if you want to. There is no more electric charge on bus. Why not? I mean, what is using so much electricity? God damn it. Electric charge. Oh, I know. There's like this weird bug which starts some of the modules, which are actually not even present there. I mean, we can just use our capacitors. We can take the capacitors and we can just discharge one of the capacitors here, which will give us all the electricity we need. All right, let's time warp to about here. The reason why I wanna time warp there is because I want to fire my engines so that I can land near the KSC, Space Center, so that we can recover more money, which is definitely nice. Okay, let's discharge that capacitor as well. I mean, we don't have a lot of electricity production here, unfortunately, but that's fine. Alright, let's... I think we're good for landing here. So let's start it like that, and start the engine here. And we will just wait till this thing gets near the KSC. It will require quite a lot of delta V, but I mean, we have tons of it. We might actually want to time warp even further. Okay, and we'll do another burn here. Just slow us down, which will give us a slower descent, less to worry about in terms of temperatures. Definitely nice. Reaction wheels. Don't know what that was too, I'm sorry. Kind of missed that message. Alright, so let's keep burning for now. We'll just kind of decelerate. Oh my god, I have decelerated too much. But not to worry, because we can just point ourselves up a little bit like that, and because we have tons of delta V, we can actually use it to power down our descent, which is nice because it will allow me to use more of our fuel to slow down, which is good because the more we slow down, the less problems will we encounter during re-entry. And this spacecraft, it's decent for re-entry, like it's obviously rated for that, but it's not perfect in its design. Definitely could be better. By the way, why don't we, while we still have fuel, correct our trajectory closer to KC like that? Okay, and yeah, let's just burn the rest of our fuel while we still can. I love powered descent. Very, very good. Again, we want to land somewhere near the ocean because I'm not sure what's our descent speed's going to be. Haven't tested that yet, so I want to land in the ocean, but at the same time, I want to be not too fast. Okay. We have successfully completed our transition here. Gonna stage the vehicle. We can actually enable the fuel tanks here. We will use some of that fuel as well to just burn a little bit longer there when we are descending. Actually, engines. Damn it! Forgot to turn off the fuel. The throttle, I mean. Well, it is what it is. Doesn't really matter. Alright, now we're just gonna keep descending, and hopefully we will land somewhere near KC. Not too far, not too close. Still in the ocean, hopefully. Actually, no, we're looking to land right in the atmosphere. And unfortunately, our vehicle has rotated, which is really, really bad. There's a way that we can use to still push it out. We're gonna shut one of the engines down, and we will use the other engine to just kind of push us, because we need to slow down. Okay, note to self, our vehicle is not aerodynamically stable, which is really, really bad. Luckily, our parachutes were able to deploy, so we should be able to slow down. You know what, let's save the game here. So, it's a good idea to do that right now. Okay, it seems like we are going for a shore landing, which is okay, it's fine. I mean, we do have landing legs, so it's probably not going to be too big of an issue. Yeah, our descent speed is 6 meters per second, which is definitely fine. We will also burn the rest of our fuel just to smooth the landing even further, just a little bit. Damn, this is by far the longest stream that I've did, but I don't know, I'm just feeling really good. All of the missions are going really, really well. I'm not making mistakes. This is just absolutely perfect. I knew this was going to be a good stream, but this is absolutely perfect. Just gonna start the engines right there, slow down, and that is kind of it. The bus has landed. We definitely could do a Mark II where we will upgrade a bunch of stuff. For example, we really need to work on our descent. If only we had those air brakes, that would have been kind of nice. But we don't, unfortunately. Alright, we didn't get much science, but we should have completed the contract of saving the dude from orbit, which is nice. And now we can accept this contract to plant a flag on Minmus. Yeah, that looks good. Or we could have a bunch more of these contracts of rescuing some dudes from the orbit of Kerbin. Here's the thing. I want a contract to not rendezvous two vessels. I want a contract to land on one. And this contract is kind of annoying. Because I do have a lander near Mun ready to land, but I can't because this contract is not what I want and I don't want to accept it. We could do more of these rescue contracts. It's definitely possible. And then we could research R&D just in time to finish our missions near Mun and Minmus. Or we could just go to Minmus right now. PC specs. Potato computer. Okay, it's not a potato computer. It's 3070. But it's struggling really hard. It's like, I don't even have 60 frames per second. I think I have, like, how many is that? I have like 55, 56 frames per second. Because I'm also streaming. It's just the name of the game. Alright, you know what? Let's go ahead and finish. Alright, we still can't do... We can't do a landing on Mun because we can't complete the contract in that way. We can't complete the stupid Minmus contract. I mean, we can go and launch some satellites, I think. I'm sorry, but... No. Okay, guys. First of all, I was playing with a 3050 for the majority of my time, and I still know that it's a decent-ish GPU, but it has 4 gigabytes of VRAM, which is really sad, especially when you're trying to film KSP, because all of the VRAM is used for the game, and then you can't run OBS. So I'm really glad I have a 3070 now, but it's still not the best. Not the best, especially when you're like first gen Ryzen. No, I mean, I'm definitely not being... I definitely understand that there are worse things, but it's just that it ain't the best, right? It's just not the best. Okay, so we have this contract to bring a bunch of guys into low orbit, and I'm kind of tempted to take that and just launch the second version of our bus. Science data from the surface of Mun, we have a bunch of these contracts. I'm really tempted to just kind of upgrade the mission control now, so we just have all of these contracts. God damn it, I really want to do that. You know what? Let's launch the second version of bus. I think it's gonna be fine. We'll just bring a bunch of tourists into orbit, and we can do those contracts later. Okay, so let's go ahead and modify our space bus. I think it's gonna be Mark III. Our 23rd vehicle. That's kind of interesting. Alright, so the things we noted from our first flight. A, because of this stupid heat shield, we couldn't transfer fuel, which is really annoying for no apparent reason. So let's do that. We'll enable CrossFit and we'll be able to start these engines earlier, which will hopefully increase our thrust to weight ratio. And we can actually start them quite significantly earlier, and we can just use the fuel from these lower stages. Alright, cheers. Yeah, the second problem that we have is the thing is just too heavy. We need a smaller fuel tank here, and we'll have to buy it, and that's kind of sad, but we just have to because it's just way too heavy. I'm sorry. We're gonna have a white design. By the way, we need to have an ugly all-white design. Albino style. Okay, it's looking better. Alright, so this will technically have less delta V, but because the ascent profile will be a lot better, it'll actually have more delta V, effectively. At least useful delta V, that is. Alright, let's put these here, like that. Okay, alright. Let's put these slightly lower here so that they don't clip. Also much better. Alright, this is looking pretty solid. So our thruster rated launch will be 1.49, and then the second stage will have instantly a decent 0.21 thruster rated. No, that's wrong. This is in vacuum. Okay, it'll have 0.8 thruster weight ratio, which is decent enough. Okay, so that was that. Also, I really want to add a bunch of antennas here, and can I have some retransmit antennas? So here's the thing. I am running remote tech mod, which changes the way that antenna works, and it basically makes every single antenna capable of both transmitting data and receiving data, which means that pretty much all parts are relay antennas. But it makes life difficult in other ways. A lot of other ways. So for now, I do think that maybe all your mods are lagging out your PC. They definitely do, but that's the name of the game. Gotta keep the content interesting. So anyway, we could use these deployable high gain antennas, which will give us 70 megameters. That's kind of interesting. Or we could use these small antennas. I really like these small antennas. They're looking pretty solid. Or should we... Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's take a look at these bigger antennas. Just how bad are they? Actually, don't look that big. Yeah, we can put two of them somewhere there. Also, you know what? Let's put them right here. Just put a bunch... Damn it. We'll just put a bunch of them here. Just do antennas like that. And we'll also have a few of these smaller antennas on the sides here. Just like that. Okay, that's looking reasonably well. Alright. So anyway, another problem that we had is because our boosters here on the sides ruin our aerodynamic quality, our rocket tumbled like crazy. So in order to prevent that, we're gonna add these little guys here. Oh damn it, it placed them in all all the wrong ways possible. So anyway, we're gonna put them on these decouplers. And we're gonna put 2 of them, and that will help us to just stage them away once we start getting to atmosphere. So hopefully it'll prevent any and all issues with the landing sequence. But there's a decent chance that the rocket will tumble anyway, so I guess it's a good idea to add some stabilizers here. We can use these ones that go on the side and just basically put a bunch of these bad boys right there, which will hopefully... Oh, you know what? We can put them like right here. Look at that. We can put 2 here and 2 here. That is looking really good. Yeah, I like that. And it still doesn't obstruct the hatch, which is great. So now we have this, although they are kind of in the way of the airstream. I'd rather put them, you know, oh, damn it, we also didn't have enough battery capacity. Damn it, this is kind of annoying. You know what? We could, what can we do about this? This is so annoying. Can't use this one. It's just way too big. God damn it. Alright, let's put them here. I give up. Let's put them right here. This is good enough. Maybe just put them slightly clip them in. Just a little bit. Maybe a little lower, like that. Yeah, that's looking good enough. Okay, alright. Also we can put these guys here on the sides. And by the way, since our RCS thrusters are on these blocks here, by the way, where are they? Have they disappeared at some point? That's kind of weird. But okay, so here's the thing. We can put the capacitor banks, you just shove them right here. Like that. Does that look ugly? Yes, it kind of does, but... Damn it, I don't like the design. You know what, let's remove these antennas, place the capacitor banks instead of them, and we'll just add a few more antennas here. Just add another antenna right here. Okay, great, that's looking decent. So here's the thing, because our RCS thrusters will be on these thruster blocks here, we can just put the monoprop fuel tanks on them as well. And oh, I know what happened. God damn it, it's so annoying because it just put the symmetry in all the wrong way. Damn it. Does anybody know the controls to like place them like that? Oh yeah, okay, I kind of figured it out. Sorry. Alright, so we have put them like that, and we're just gonna add these monoprop blocks, and we just clip them. Just gonna rotate them in absolute... God damn it. Can you please not? Just gonna rotate them like this, and just gonna put them like that. Now that looks good enough. Yay! Alright, so that's gonna be our correct stage. Hopefully it won't rotate around. We do have some reaction wheels. Yeah, so the problem is that we also didn't have enough battery capacity. So I'm gonna add a few more battery packs to these boosters on the side, which will hopefully remedy that. At least to some extent. Alright, this is looking pretty good. Add this one here. Just make sure the boosters don't clip too hard. Actually, you know what? We can put these boosters slightly higher. Just a little bit. A little higher, like that. Okay, great. Alright, so check the staging. So first of all, we fired these, the engine down low, we fired the boosters, then we staged the clamps, then we... can I get rid of this? Thank you. Then we staged the boosters, then we fired our big engine, and then we also have these smaller boosters there for final maneuvering. Alright, this is looking pretty good. This is looking decent. Spacebox Mark III, I present to you. Okay, so we do need to do a bunch of these tourism missions. So let's go ahead and do that. Just take a bunch of tourists with us and a single pilot. And by the way, what is if I just add all of the Kerbals that I have, this is like 5 Kerbals, what is our food consumption? They will be able to chill in orbit for roughly 100 something days, which is pretty decent. Okay, I like that. Alright, this is looking pretty good. This is solid design. So let's go ahead and launch this beast. Did we take the tourists? Yes, we did. Okay, so I think we have accounted for all the mistakes that we made with our Mark II design. Hopefully that should work. Damn it, I missed in the vertical stream. David Prince, if you're still here. This wasn't a Minmus mission, this was just a get to orbit style mission. There's a horizontal stream, by the way, you can go there, it's a much better view, and I answer in chat there. Because I don't really look at the vertical stream chat all too much. Alright, so let's get ready to launch. We'll start our engines, everything started perfectly, we'll stage the clamps. And on we go. Right now, we should have slightly better thrust-to-weight ratios, so I think we can go for a lower ascent profile. Still can't go very low, but we definitely can go lower than previously. Definitely can do better than previously. Right. So like I said, our goal right now is to just get into orbit and do this tourist mission. And we'll also rescue a bunch of guys on our way while we are in orbit. We can just do that. Because we can afford ourselves longer duration missions now, which is definitely really cool. Okay, let's prepare to stage boosters here. Okay, stage them. They fly away very nicely. Thank you very much for those small fins. We should guide them away. I absolutely love that design. That's really cool. And on we go. And our thrust-to-weight ratio is looking pretty solid right now. We can actually even go for a slightly lower sim profile. We can already start aiming towards orbit. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Let me get some of my juice. Need more of it because the stream is already 3.5 hours. Jesus Christ, that's a lot. We're gonna have to wrap it up soon. But yeah, it's gonna be a flippin' long stream. I just kind of feel really good. I think we'll end soon with these missions bus. I think we'll wrap it up from there. The recording for this thing is gonna be so big. Damn it. I don't know. I'm actually kind of curious if you're watching the stream. Does the show kind of degrade as it goes? What I'm trying to ask is, I obviously do get slightly more tired till the end of the stream here, So anyway, I do get slightly more tired, obviously. The question is, like, does the quality of the stream degrade as I go on? Because obviously at some point it's bound to become worse. Except in this case, I'm feeling like the quality is not really degrading that all too much. Maybe I'm just coping. I don't know. Tell me your thoughts about this. I'm really curious. Should I go for longer streams? Should I go for shorter streams? I mean, this one is definitely a bit longer than I normally do. But I don't know, maybe that's good. Alright, so anyway, let me just fire these boosters here. Actually gonna block the fuel flow from these smaller tanks just to make absolutely sure that we're not going to be using them. And why does it not... It still doesn't show the crossfeed for some reason. That's annoying. I mean, I guess that's not gonna work then. God damn it. Alright, the ascent profile that we're taking right now is suboptimal, but it's still good enough, so let's just roll with it for now. Gonna turn that on. Yeah, so... like I said, because the thrust to weight ratio of this stage is suboptimal, we did take a very low ascent profile, but I'm guessing it's not going to matter too much, except that we will have to just time warp here a little bit aggressively. You know what? Let me switch to ×12 physics warp, just so we don't have to wait ages for this. On we go, and when we are near our apoapsis, we will circularize to nice little orbit around Kerbin, and that's gonna be kind of the end of this particular mission. Well, not the end, we'll still have to go back, but I mean, we'll just go to Space Center. I had a few seconds of sunset in space there. It's already over. Alright, let's circularize here and go for Space Center and probably wrap the stream from there, because it is getting pretty damn late and I can start feeling the quality slowly degrading. I can definitely feel it happening. Okay, we are in orbit, now we just have to wait 1 hour for the Kerbals to have their fun. I mean, the tourist Kerbals. Alright. We still have this contract to rendezvous 2 vessels near Mon. I'm kind of annoyed by it, but I'm not entirely sure what to do with it. Not entirely sure. It's kind of annoying. God damn it. And I really want to accept these contracts to just save a bunch of guys from orbit, because, I mean, we have Delta V to do this. The problem with that is that I have to upgrade the contract facility to do that. And I'm not really keen on doing that. That is kind of annoying. Alright, wow, this is actually quite an interesting contract to hold a space camp. Okay, you know what we can do? We can, in the meantime, we can complete this contract to create a network for Kerbin. And while we create that network, we can wait till this contract finishes, then we can complete these small contracts about rescuing some guys from orbit. So that's definitely an option. Alright, you know what? I have some thoughts about what we should do next, but for now, I think this was a cool run. Definitely a personal record for 3 hours. Hope that you still enjoyed this, and someone connected just now, just as I'm wrapping the stream. All right, so I hope that you kind of enjoyed the stream, and see you next time.